a CBC color presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom McKee, and welcome to the Canadian College Bowl from Varsity Stadium in Toronto on a beautiful November afternoon. Almost ideal for football. The only fly in the ointment as far as the weather is concerned is the wind, and it's gusty and it's swirling inside the stadium and could have some effect on the throwing and also on the kicking. But the weatherman says that those winds are going to subside as the afternoon goes on. Fred Scambatti and Nabi Workowski are working on the play-by-play and color commentary, and we'll check in with them in just a moment. We'll be back with our player introductions and pregame festivities right after this message.
Chrysler, the luxury car for all the living you do.
Chrysler for 1971 gives you what you buy a luxury car for: room, quality, performance, and prestige. Passenger accommodation is more than generous, and Chrysler's extra care and engineering gives you a torsion quiet ride, smooth and silent, because you're isolated from road noise and vibration. Every Chrysler is a full-size luxury car. There are no junior editions. Chrysler, you'll be proud to own one.
Chrysler, the luxury car for all the living you do. There's a Chrysler for you.
Fred Scambatti along with Nabi Workowski at our upstairs broadcast location. A grand day for football. The University of Ottawa GGs, the University of Manitoba Bisons. And Nabi, the prospects of an excellent and exciting game here, and your assessment of this Ottawa team.
Fred, I think that Ottawa is really essentially a passing ball club. In Paul Patton, they have an excellent quarterback. I think he's pro prospect material. Ted Evanets, their number one runner, had an Achilles tendon problem. He's out of the lineup. This requires a little reshuffling on their inner offensive backfield. I think that Pete Ribbons, their number one offensive end, is an excellent pass receiver. Defensively, they play basically the Ottawa Rough Rider defense. Four-man line, three linebackers, five defensive backs. They do quite a bit of blitzing with Martin Sevigny.
Well, with Manitoba, the Bisons, they're the defending champions in the College Bowl, and Nabi, reports on them have them as a great running ball club.
Well, they do have an excellent running ball club with people like Dennis Rosico, Bob Toogood, Mike Shiloh, and with their quarterback, Bob Kramer. Don't let this boy fool you, because I think that he, again, is pro prospect material as a quarterback. In last year's game against McGill in the College Bowl, they were to be a running ball club, but he came out and he just ran them dizzy. They have a great ball club. I look for a great game. It could very well develop where Ottawa, the passing ball club, meets Manitoba, the running team.
Well, we've had a break in excellent weather. The teams are down there ready. Let's go to field level. Tom McKee and the player introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting offensive lineups for today's game. First, from the University of Manitoba, the Golden Bisons. Number 53, Bart Evans. Number 52, the left guard, Ollie Hensrud. Number 63, the center, Bob Keating. Number 57, Jerry Fraser, the right guard. The right tackle, number 67, Alan Kinley. The right end, number 70, Ian McLeod. The left half, number 25, Dennis Rysyko. The fullback, 32, Bob Toogood. The right half, number 20, Mike Shiloh. The flanker, number 21, Henry Lodowitz. And the quarterback, number 10, Bob Kramer. The Golden Bisons from the University of Manitoba. Now from the University of Ottawa, the GGs, number 71, the left end, Greg Moses. The left tackle, number 63, Jean Gauthier. The left guard, number 50, Guy Fortier. The center, number 40, Pierre de Montigny. The right guard, number 55, John Silverman. The right tackle, number 60, Jean Gouin. Number 73, the right end, Peter Ribbons. The left half, number 23, Michel Léveillé. The fullback, number 28, Eli Mansour. The right half, number 27, Ed Kane. The flanker, number 26, Jacques Burrell. And the quarterback, number 11, Paul Patton. And introducing the official party, Mr. W. Archbold, the national president of the Canadian Save the Children Fund. Dean Maury Van Vliet, the president of the Canadian Intercollegiate Athletic Union. And Mr. R.B. Doty, the president of the Canadian College Bowl. And now the co-captains of the RMC football team, cadets Alan Maddox and Trevor Kennedy, are escorting John McQueen, an 8-year-old Toronto boy, to center field for the ceremonial kickoff. Maddox will hold the ball and Kennedy will receive. Kick it a good one, John. Very good, 10, 12 yards. John McQueen representing the Canadian Save the Children Fund. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the combined bands of the University of Toronto and Queen's University with our national anthem.
Well, the band's moving off the field on this sun-drenched afternoon at Varsity Stadium in Toronto for the 6th annual College Bowl game for the Vanier Cup, and more importantly, for the Save the Children Fund. Our broadcast crew, Nabi Workowski, Arthur Darts is our spotter, Ron Andrews, the statistician, as the University of Manitoba now heading to the West Zone, and the white-cladded University of Ottawa GGs to the left. The refereeing crew under Mr. Norm Maxwell, Hugh Wood, Bob Park, Ray Morgan, and Bill Moulton will be the team that will handle the judgments on the rules. As Léveillé and Kane, number 23 and number 27, back in the end zone to the left, that's the north end. This is a north-south field, and we are on the west side. The kicker, number 14, is McKee. Walter McKee. And we're underway. Kane beyond the 25, out to the 30-yard line. Shiloh making the tackle. Don Shiloh, the kickoff 56 yards and the return 21. First and 10 for the University of Ottawa at their own 30. Paul Patton, number 11, is the quarterback. Winner of the Heck Crichton Memorial Trophy, is the outstanding player in Nation's Collegiate Circle. Monsieur nabbed by Galbraith for a loss on the play of 2 to make it 2nd and 12. Nobby right off the bat. The Bisons right in there.
Fred, this is exactly the way the University of Manitoba started off last year against McGill. They were all over the ball, gang tackling, and this is the name of the game on defense.
2nd down. Patton has the football. Into the flat, incomplete for Levelier, with Jamie Horn covering on the play for the University of Manitoba. So it'll be 3rd down and 12 with the ball at the University of Ottawa 28 as the punt return pair of Rosyko and Lodewicz are back at their own 45. Now dropping back a little deeper. Rosyko back to his 35. The wind gusting across the field. The punter is Patton.
Let's go, Peter. Let's go.
Good high punt that hangs a little. Lodewicz. And he stopped up at his 53 as Eli Monsieur makes the stop. A 34-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Let's go down to Tom McKee.
Fred, I can't get over how dry this field is after the heavy rain we had yesterday. Of course, it's been as windy the past 12 hours as a sportscasters convention, but it has really dried up, and the players say the footing is very good.
It is 1st and 10, the University of Manitoba at their own 53-yard line, 20 yards in from the far side. And the quarterback, Bob Kramer, most valuable player in the Western Conference. The handoff to Shiloh, and he's piled up after an advance of about 3 yards. Vince Brooks, number 54, leading the University of Ottawa tacklers along with Wyatt. Along the front, it's Tanguay, Potter, Brooks, and Wyatt. Linebackers Moore, Terry, Copeland. And in the defensive backfield, Armstrong, St. George, Slee, Sevigny, and Sabrin. 2nd down and 7. Flanker to this side is Lodewicz. Flag on the play, pass incomplete. Intended for Robin Wright. And let us see what the determination is by referee Norm Maxwell. It was a 2nd and 7. Holding on the University of Manitoba. And Ottawa will elect to decline or accept. And they decline, making it 3rd down and 7, and the kicking replacements come in for Manitoba.
Fred, normally you can tell in the early series of play exactly what type of ball game we're going to have by just watching the offensive and defensive lines, and this looks as if it's going to be a struggle. I'll guarantee you that.
Levely and Kane are back. As Kramer is in punt position. A short wobbly kick. Levelier inside his 10, and he's pulled down by Ron Wright, number 77. Robin Wright made that. A 48-yard punt, which got a pretty good roll on the ground. A 4-yard return. It is 1st and 10 for Ottawa as they're just outside their own 10-yard line. No score in the game. And we played just 3 minutes in the first quarter at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Jacques Burrell flanks wide to the far side. He's the mighty might of the Ottawa team, as Padden calls the signal. The give is to Kane, and he cracks out to just beyond the 15. Bramwell, Gil Bramwell moving in to make the stop. So it is 2nd and 5. Again, Burrell flanks to the far side. The ends are tight. Vanier, and he's piled up after a short advance with Don Shiloh, number 23, leading the advance of defensive men. So it is 3rd and 3, as the University of Ottawa will again have to give up the football by punting, with number 25 Rosyko and number 21 Lodowicz back in punt position at center field. Punt return position. Padden setting up to kick. It's his second kick of the game. Snap was good. Lodowicz at center field. He doesn't get very far on that one, as Peter Ribbons was rather tenacious on the 37-yard punt and 4-yard return. Now down to field level, here's Tom McKee.
One interesting thing, Fred and Nobby, that has popped up in this game is that the two teams offensively are using different footballs. The University of Ottawa is using the American-style football, whereas Manitoba is using the conventional Canadian ball. Maybe Nobby could comment on that later.
Manitoba will put that conventional type football into play with Lodowicz flanked wide to this side. Shiloh grinds straight ahead and picks up approximately 6. 2nd and 4 with the ball just outside the Ottawa 45 as Wyatt and Brooks made the stop.
Fred, and if you notice, Manitoba changed a little in their offense, the way they break the huddle. Very reminiscent of the Edmonton Eskimos in the mid-50s, come out and run off on the ball.
Rosyko is flanked to the far side, now in motion. The give to Shiloh, very close to the first down. Again, Wyatt leading the tacklers, number 75. Neil Wyatt, 6'3", 230-pounder, in his 4th year of physical education at Ottawa, and he's a co-captain. So he's providing quite a good example out there. Out come the chains. It is 3rd down and just inches. Just outside the 41-yard line of Ottawa with Manitoba in possession. No score in the game. Just a little over 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Lodowicz comes to this side as they break the huddle. Kramer up, calling signal. They have the first down with Shiloh as he just powered over the right side.
Fred, Shiloh had an excellent ball game last year here against McGill, and he's just starting off the same way. They're really counting on him. They haven't gone to Rosyko as yet.
Keating is the center, Hensrud and Fraser the guards, Kinley and Evans the tackles. Wright and McLeod are the ends, with Kramer directing the attack, number 10 for Manitoba. The give to Rosyko as he tried a counter coming back and gets into about the 35 with Tanguay and St. George moving up from a defensive back position. St. George, number 22. It is 2nd and 6 after the advance of 4. Manitoba huddle. Lodowicz and Rosyko are flanked to this side. Rosyko, as he breaks inside the 30, down to the 25. That'll move the yardsticks. A first down. And Navi at Rosico seems to break very fast. Well, there's a timeout on the field, and with 8 minutes to play in the first quarter, the score, the Manitoba Bisons nothing and the Ottawa GGs nothing.
Plymouth's gonna get ya moving.
Plymouth comes through for you with 71 Satellite, a brand new design concept in mid-size cars. Hardtops like Roadrunner are built on a 115-inch wheelbase to be sleek and sporty. Family sedans and wagons on a 117-inch wheelbase for extra room. All new Satellite.
Plymouth's gonna get ya. Gotcha. Plymouth's gonna get ya moving.
Plymouth comes through for you with 71 Valiant Duster, the hottest sports compact going. Solid unibody construction, room for 5 big people and all their luggage. Torsion bar suspension, very smooth. And a very special Duster 340. Duster moves you.
Plymouth's gonna get ya. Gotcha.
Fred Scambatti and Nobby Workowski. College Bowl game, Varsity Stadium in Toronto. 1st and 10, Manitoba at the Ottawa 25. Kramer. The gig to Toogood, and he picks up 6, driving over the left side. 2nd and 4 as the ball comes to the 19. Slee leading the Ottawa Attackers. So far, Shiloh is 4 carries for 15 yards, and Rosico 2 for 14 yards, and that was Toogood's first carry of the game. Big fellow Toogood, 6'2", 220. First year PhD at Manitoba. 2nd and 4. Kramer still has the football. He has Wright, Robin Wright. Gilles Sabrin making the tackle. Wright on the season with 16 receptions for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Fred, and what Manitoba's doing, they're flanking to the left in this case and going away from strength. That time, Kramer made a beautiful fake to Rosico and then hit Wright.
1st and 10, just outside the 10 for Manitoba. First solid scoring opportunity. That's Rosico. And for a 150-pounder, Nobby, he seems to crack in there very, very crisply.
Well, I was going to say, Fred, that he reminds me very much of little Ron Stewart from the Ottawa Rough Riders, built like a little fire plug.
The ball at the 7-yard line. Manitoba in possession. Kramer deploys Lodowitz and Rosico. Kramer with the football. Touchdown! Lodowitz!
Fred, and you can see that this is beautiful by Kramer. He comes out and very coolly rushed, sets them all up. Lo and behold, there he is all alone in the end zone. That's what makes Kramer the quarterback that he is. Last year, extremely cool against McGill and their rush.
He was very attractive. 4 Ottawa men were after him. Here's the point after by McKee. He was good on 14 of 16 during the season. It is no good. No good. The University of Manitoba 6, Ottawa nothing, with 6 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Nobby, Manitoba used an effective ground game to move that ball into position, mixed it up just enough, and one pass which moved the ball into deep territory, and then the TD pass.
Kramer had an excellent selection of plays. He probed them, he ran the sweep, he ran the counter, and then he came with a bootleg to right, and then you saw the last play, and that's what makes Kramer the quarterback and keeps Manitoba going, really.
Well, this is a matchup between Kramer, who is so very well regarded by Manitoba, and here's McKee, rather short, and that wind may be playing a little bit of hob. Levalier at the 20. Oh, and he's met right there by Jamie Horn and could get no further than a couple of yards on the return. The Manitoba scoring march consumed 51 yards in 9 plays, 7 rushing for 35, and 2 for 16, and it put 6 points on the board. Ottawa 1st and 10, and they've been playing with the ball, the Wilson ball, in their own end so far today. At the 21, 1st and 10. Gauthier and Gohan are the tackles, Silverman and Fortier the guards, Demontinet the center, Moses and Ribbons are the ends, under the direction of Paul Patton at quarterback. Patton has the football. Well, Kane was brought to the turf there as Fildy and Mark Millen in there. So it's a loss on the play, back to the 13. Make it 2nd and 18.
Fred, Ottawa had to make some offensive adjustments because their best running back Ted Evanets, was hurt.
Need a big gainer on this 2nd down. Patton. Oh, he's in trouble. As Mark Millen, number 60, broke through. Defensive end, big 6'1", 200-pound Mark Millen. But there was a flag on the play, and there is a roughing call against Manitoba, and that bails Ottawa out to a certain extent. 15-yard advance.
Fred, and you can see here, you can see the punching by number 58. Right in there. Watch, right there, right across the chops. That's it. That's the name of the game when you're trying to block someone, when you're trying to rush the passer.
That was Galbraith. You saw his number, you might as well get the name with it.
That's the name of it.
So it is 2nd down now, with 4 yards to go, and a big break for Ottawa and pulling them out of a difficult circumstance, but they're not out of trouble yet. Kane, and Kane was not able to get the 1st down from our vantage point. Jamie Horn and Gil Bramwell making the effective tackle to prevent the 1st down, or presumably prevent the 1st down. Kane is the injured ball player, Ed Kane, just an 18-year-old. Oddly enough, he's the only man in science, in the science course at the University of Ottawa.
And we can see this run by Kane. He gets the ball from Patton, starts cutting up. Right there, you see him get hit. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell whether it was a knee or quite possibly the way he landed. It could very well be his left shoulder. No, it's his knee.
Dan Slee has gone in as the replacement, 3rd and about a foot. We'll just see what Ottawa like to do here. Well, Patton's
come out
going to try it. Slee appears to have made the 1st down, and he has. So Ottawa, with the big break off a roughing penalty, rather than having to punt the ball from their own 2, find themselves out at their own 33, 1st and 10. So that break may have revived them. But in suffering their injury to Kane, we'll have to see how it affects the backfield. Burrell comes wide to this side. Backs in motion. Patton rolling out. Complete to Greg Moses for the 1st down. A 14-yard advance brings the ball out to the 48. 1st and 10 for Ottawa, 20 yards in from the near sideline.
Brendan, this is a little unusual because throughout the year, Ottawa threw very little of Moses, but this shows what the teams are actually doing. They're looking and trying to probe, and that's what they saw. It was open.
1st and 10 as Burrell goes wide. The draw with Monsieur, but Manitoba reacted very alertly led by Carlson and Galbraith, to hold the play to a yard gain. There's a timeout on the field. With 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, the score, the Manitoba Bisons 6, the Ottawa GGs nothing.
Big Dodge, the class of '71. A new optional 360 V8 gives Big Dodge big performance. Big Dodge gives you a lot more of everything for your money. Comfort, luxury, and roominess, and the silence of a torsion quiet ride.
The spirit of 71 is Dodge 71.
This year, you can't afford not to be Dodge material.
He's my patient.
Well, nobody's quarreling with that.
You are. You're always just a half a step behind me, aren't you, Doc? All I have to do is lean back and you'll be there to hold me up. I couldn't talk him into going into the hospital. You did that, fine. But what happens when you're not there? I want you to stop wiping my nose, Doc. I need elbow room.
John Horton, Gordon Pinsent, and the late Ed Begley star in Who's the Fat Cat when Corwin returns to CBC television tomorrow night.
At Varsity Stadium in Toronto, where Manitoba leads Ottawa 6-0 in the 6th annual College Bowl game. First quarter, 2nd and 9 for Ottawa. Patton has the football. Into the left flat. Complete to Ribbons, and he's down the sidelines to the 35 before he's dropped out of bounds by Clint Evans.
And this was their big receiver throughout the year, Peter Ribbons. He's just getting out through the flat, and he just runs just a slant, and a beautiful pass from Paul Patton, and then he puts on a little steam, and there he goes.
Unfortunately, there was a flag dropped on the play, and referee Maxwell has indicated roughing against Ottawa, which erases the play. Instead of a big 32-yard advance, there is a 15-yard march backward by referee Norm Maxwell, and Ottawa certainly suffering a tough break there. So it is 2nd and 24 with the ball at the 34-yard line of the Ottawa GGs as Coach Bob Obilovich shuffles his men in and out of the lineup. Patton. Well, a quick kick, not as effective as it might be, as Lodowicz. Flag on the play, he's still going, gets to the 50 before he's pinned by Jean Gouin. But there was a flag down at the play. Could be clipping the call.
There's your clip right there. Let's have a look now. There it is, hitting from behind. This is one of the exciting plays in Canadian college football. Unlike the pros, we are allowed to block on punts. If that runner can get behind the wall that they normally try to set up, this is extremely exciting.
Clipping one way, roughing the other. The penalties nullify each other. The ball stays at the 45. 1st and 10 Manitoba after the 32-yard quick kick, which was not as effective as it might have been. This wind swirling around, gusting 20 up to 25 miles an hour out of the northwest and veering around to the southwest. So it's playing a bit of hob with the kicking. Manitoba, they send Lodowicz out to the far side. The ends are tight. Lysyko on the move. Kramer has the football. Incomplete, intended for Shiloh. Just into Ottawa's territory, but incomplete.
Ed Kane, number 27 for the GGs, has sprained his ankle, but now he's got a cold pack on it, walking around a little bit, starting to put some weight on it, and no doubt will be back in the action shortly.
Right, Tom McKee. It is 2nd down for Manitoba, 2nd and 10 with the ball at their own 45. Robin Wright splits to this end. Lodowicz is flanked wide to the right. Kramer. Incomplete. Robin Wright was the intended receiver. The pass was high, and Nabi, that field may just be slightly slippery. We had tremendous rain and wind here yesterday, but it stopped late last night, and the high winds today have dried out the field considerably, but there are still patches of slippery sections.
Fred, I thought really that the field on the sideline wasn't that bad. In the middle, it was very treacherous.
St. George is back as a punt return man along with Lavalle. The kick. A good kick by McKee as Lavalle. Oh, and he's snowed under there back at the 18-yard line as Bruce Taylor led the tacklers, number 50. There's a flag on the play. A 47-yard punt. Best of the game. Roughing is the call against Ottawa. Been a number of penalties here early on. So the ball goes back inside the 10, half the distance to the goal line, and it'll be 1st and 10 Ottawa at their own 9.
Fred, a lot of this is starting in the line play because I've been watching it and I've been trying to pick out some of these culprits, and maybe one of these times we'll be able to show it.
Up to the 53-yard line before number 19, Roy Parker, manages to bring him down. Evelier, number 23, Michel Evelier, 5'9", 160 from Hawkesbury.
Ready? Padden drops back. A beautiful pass, but Lavalier really, he adjusted to the ball. Parker had him covered, and Lavalier got back to the inside just enough to get the ball.
43-yard advance, 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Manitoba leading 6-0. 1st and 10 Ottawa at their own 52. They give to Slee, trying outside. He gets into Manitoba territory by 2 yards as Clint Evans, one of 2 pairs of brothers appearing in this game, is over to make the stop. Bart Evans on the offensive unit for Manitoba, and then we have the Shiloh brothers who are offense-defense. Well, referee Maxwell has waved the flag indicating that time has been used in the first quarter. Manitoba with a touchdown 6 and Ottawa nothing, an unconverted touchdown. And Nabi, that was an interesting first quarter of play.
Yes, it was, Fred. I thought that Manitoba went right along with their game plan. They said they were going to run the ball. As you said, in that march for the touchdown, they used 9 plays, 7 running plays, 2 pass plays. But the 2 pass plays were actually well-designed plays. They came with a fake run and a bootleg. Then Kramer came out, ran the ball, 4 Ottawa players chasing him very coolly, as in last year's game, stopped and threw the ball to the open man. Ottawa, as of the moment, has not shown any running attack whatsoever. They have had a few passes, but really they have had some major adjustments to make because of the loss of their number 1 running back, a boy by the name of Ted Evanitz out of Brantford, Ontario.
2nd and a little over 4 with the ball at the Manitoba 52. Ottawa in possession. Backfield in motion. The draw. Manitoba stayed at home, read their keys with number 58 Galbraith and 65 Carlson moving in to make the stop. So the ball on the center field marker, 3rd and 7. Ottawa will have to kick.
And that's one play that Ottawa does like to run, the draw, and this is where Evanetz really did a great job.
Psycho and Lodowicz are back. Partially blocked by number 52, who broke in there. Ole Hinsrud. Flag on the play. Lodowicz had the football with de Montigny, number 40, in for the stop. Referee Maxwell taking a look at things. No yards. There'll be an advance of 10 off of that one, the 35-yard punt, and no return. In the first quarter, first downs, Manitoba 4 and Ottawa 3. Yards rushing, Manitoba 38, Ottawa 16, and passing 16 for Manitoba and Ottawa 50. Total offense of 54 for Manitoba, 66 for Ottawa. In passing, Manitoba 2 passes for 5 attempts, Ottawa 3 for 4, no interceptions, and the punting average, Manitoba 47 and Ottawa 34. Another injury to an Ottawa man, Gouin, number 60, being helped off the field. He's a big fellow, 6'1", 238 from Pont du Lac in 3rd year of phys ed. A delightful fall day for football. Temperature hovering near 40. Brilliant sunshine, a few fleecy clouds in the sky, and just a great day for football as presented by these two teams, the University of Manitoba and the University of Ottawa on the white as they break their huddle. On the defensive now with the ball, 1st and 10 at the Manitoba 36. Lodewicz comes wide to this side. The inside flanker is Recyco, who goes the other way. It is too good as he breaks out to the 44-yard line. Tanguay leading the Ottawa tacklers, and the advance is 8, 2nd and 2 with the ball at the 44.
Read the amazing thing is that pre-game talks with the coaches from Manitoba had indicated that Too Good was hurt and may not play. But you couldn't tell that from that play, does it?
They give it to Too Good again, and he advances the ball at least 3, and that should be good enough to move the yardsticks. Wayne Terry, number 32, the principal tackler. So it is 1st and 10 for Manitoba as the ball comes out to the 48-yard line.
He looks like that big fullback from Winnipeg, Bob Homart.
Too Good, 6'2", 220. It is Too Good again. Cracks out over the right side. Slee and Wyatt in to combine for the stop. The gain is 5, 2nd and 5 as the ball comes to the 53 of Manitoba, and they lead in the ball game 6-0. And we have played approximately 2.5 minutes of the second quarter in the College Bowl game at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. This time to the Ottawa 42 before Ron Armstrong makes the stop.
An excellent call by Kramer. He had given the ball previously to Bob Too Good on 3 consecutive plays. That time he faked to him and gave it to Shiloh Connery. Good call, beautiful execution, good ball carrying, and excellent blocking by the left side of that Manitoba line.
Too Good is the setback, but now is on the move. The wide pitch. Recyco. He may get out of running room as he's pushed into the Ottawa bench area at the 40. Gilles Sabrin over along with his mates to contain the play. However, it was good enough to pick up approximately 6, and it is 2nd and 4. Make it 2nd and 3, and they gain 7 as it's inside the 40.
Fred, and if you noticed how Recycle came out there, he was looking to cut back to the inside, and this is, I'm amazed at how much comparison there is between Stewart and Recycle. The way they run, the running style.
On the counter, fumble. Recyco, if he fell on that ball and recovered to retain possession. Time is out. Neil Wyatt getting up from the bottom of the pile as Kramer would like to have a measure. Recyco, incidentally, is 24 years old. Just 5'7", 150 pounders we've mentioned. He He was the Ukrainian Athlete of the Year in 1969, the most valuable player in the Collegiate Conference out west in '68. So it is third down and about a foot with the ball just short of the 37-yard line of Ottawa, but Manitoba have possession. And they lead in the ball game 6-0. They're the defending champion. Double set in the backfield. Kramer does the job himself as he gets inside the 35 for the first down.
Normally a quarterback on a short yardage situation, as he had there third down, would give the ball to his best ball carrier over his best blocking lineman.
Kramer rushed 23 times during the season for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. So on the important plays, he carried. Shiloh, as he takes it inside the 30. Now let's go down to Tom McKee.
This is Jean Gouin, and he is, this is a bad day for left ankles as far as this Ottawa club is concerned. And Jean says that this was sort of jammed, this one. His foot was on the ground when he was hit from the side, and the foot didn't move and slip the way it might have on this turf.
Parker is in for Lodowicz, and he is flanked wide to the left. Give to Too Good. Tanguay and Potter making the tackle. The ball inside the 25-yard line, and that's good for the first down.
Fred, and then the interesting point here is that the Cyclones rushed for approximately 27 yards. Too Good's rushed for approximately 30 now. And Shiloh has rushed for about 29, so you can see that they're a running ball club.
Lodowicz is back into the ball game. Rosyko flanked to this side and Lodowicz wide to the left. Shiloh inside the 20. Peter Ribbons, normally an offensive right end, is in a defensive role now. The gain 7.
Fred, Manitoba is an extremely difficult team to defend because they really have various offensive formations, and they can come at you with almost any of their ball carriers.
Twin halfbacks are set. Too Good. You know, Nobby, he gets out a little wider there. He's going to go on one of these plays.
Yes, he will, and he got some excellent blocking by number 20, Mike Shiloh, who loved the block, and his responsibility on that is, or his assignment is to kick out the defensive outside man just outside the end.
First and 10 at the 12 as Manitoba threatened to add to their 6-0 margin. Yes, they blocked back on a couple of those boys coming in, and he just takes a step wider, and Too Good may post 6 points. Rosyko play a little slow and developing. Potter making the tackle, number 61. He had a year at Lenore Rhine College in North Carolina before coming to Ottawa. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. Now the shuttle service with Parker going in for Lodowicz as Coach Henry Jansen wants some new wrinkles out there with its 2nd and 10 at the 12.
Ron Andrews tells me that's the first time they've been stopped with a no gain.
Now Kramer wants to reposition Shiloh and Parker. He has the football, throws. The receiver, Robin Wright. And it's very close to a first down.
Just a perfect call. Kramer gets the ball. He fakes the wide sweep. He fakes the wide sweep to Rosyko, and then he hits Robin Wright.
Well, there's a timeout on the field with 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. The score, Manitoba 6, Ottawa nothing.
Then it's gonna get you moving.
71 Plymouth Fury comes through for you with the luxury and silence of a Torsion quiet ride. with all the big car roominess, comfort, and convenience you expect from Furies. With V8s that run on regular gas and your choice of 25 beautiful models. 71 Fury.
Plymouth's gonna get ya. Gotcha.
You're an average Canadian employer. You believe in hiring on merit only, without regard for race, color, religion, or national origin. But do all your employees know this? How can you be sure that your hiring supervisors aren't exercising their own prejudices? Isn't it time you issued a clear policy statement to all your employees?
It is third down Manitoba at the Ottawa 2, and they have to get it to the 1 for the first down. Kramer gives to Shiloh, touchdown! Well, a 74-yard march results in the second Manitoba touchdown now.
Fred, and they used 13 plays to march what, 75 yards?
74 yards.
And they gave it to Shiloh. Shiloh's a big boy, 6'1", about 220 yards, just on a straight handoff. And here we can see it, just a great run. Shiloh puts his head down, excellent blocking by his offensive right guard Fraser and right tackle Kinley.
The point after is good. And the University of Manitoba, the defending College Bowl champions, lead the University of Ottawa 13-0 with 6 minutes 51 seconds remaining until the halftime interval, in which we'll have very colorful ceremonies and the typical collegiate flavor apparent for this College Bowl game. Tom McKee will guide us through the halftime, and then Navi Workowski and I will have the statistics and highlights of the first half.
But it's quite easy to see why Manitoba is where they are. Just a great job of calling plays by Bob Kramer. Excellent play selection.
Vanier and St. George are back as McKee kicks off. Out of bounds at the 11. Referee Maxwell looking downfield to get the determination. There's a penalty. Out of bounds, and he indicated an offside in the bargain. So the ball comes back to the 35, where Manitoba will kick again.
Fred, and if the ball goes out of bounds again, it'll be another loss of 10, and if they do it on the third kick, it'll be an automatic. The ball will automatically go to Ottawa at the point from where they kicked last.
Vanier and St. George have moved up appropriately as McKee kicks off again. It's a low liner. Vanier at his 17. On a revert with Ribbons. And he's up to the 45 at center field. And into Manitoba territory, the 41-yard line. And certainly now we haven't seen that one in a long time.
And this is what makes Canadian college football just great. We'll see here. Lavalier starts off to his left. He's running, hands the ball off on a reverse to Ribbons. The wall is set up, and all he had was one man to beat. But Ribbons is really, I think, an excellent ball carrier. He's trying to get away from number 31, Bramwell. And number 16 finally came in to make the tackle.
58-yard
Just a great play.
A 52-yard return by Ribbons. Patton trying to hit quickly. Tries for Vanier. But it is incomplete as the opposite 23, Don Shiloh, covers off. So it'll be second down back at the 41 for Ottawa, and it's the 41 of the University of Manitoba.
Manitoba has two sets of brothers, don't they, Fred?
Yes, that's right, Navi. The Shiloh brothers and the Evans. Bunting is in for Moses. Shuttle service from Coach Bob Obilovich from Ottawa. Backs in motion. Haddon. Lofts one. For Slee. Oh, my. He was all alone now.
I think he was a little embarrassed. Just a good throw by Patton. Here he comes right out in the flat. Just a perfect throw. He took his eyes off the ball just ever so slightly, and there it is. Getting back to these footballs that Tom McKee was talking about earlier, most conferences in Canada use the Spalding J5V. The CCIFC uses the Spalding Duke. Well, at least that's what it was called last year. This year it's called the Spalding TD. It's really the NFL ball.
Rosyko and Ludowicz are back. Patton to punt. Or is he? Well, the Ribbons. Well, during gambling football and having a triple threat man like Patton back there, who can punt, he can pass, and he can kick, and also run the ball club.
And if you notice, Ribbons is wide out in the open. He just cradled the ball, and he was going for goal line.
A 28-yard advance, and Ribbons has come up with the two big plays in this series.
And the nice thing is that Kramer's a cool customer, and so is Paul Patton.
13-0 Manitoba. Just over 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Ottawa aren't out of this one by a long shot. Slee, number 20, tries over his own right side and gets inside the 10 to about the 9. Well, there's the trophy, the Vanier Cup. That's what it's all about here for these two teams, and of course beyond that, the Save the Children Fund. Bunting is in, and Moses comes out. It is 2nd and 7 at the 9 for Ottawa. Patton swings one to Mansour. A short advance, and he's met there by John Silver, number 62, who stayed right at home, made a good tackle.
Right in here, they swung both backs out. Number 20 was out first, and Mansour. And if you notice, he caught the ball, and then he tried to lower his head so that he could hit and ram him and try to advance.
Well, it is 3rd and a long 3. Claudio Valle is in, number 53. Armstrong, number 30, will hold, and the ball will be set on the 14. A sidewinder field goal attempt is good. Ottawa are on the board with Manitoba now leading. Manitoba 13 and Ottawa 3. 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second quarter at Varsity Stadium in Toronto.
Then Valley is probably within the 45-yard range as a field goal kicker. We played against him this year, and I think he kicked 2 or 3 against us.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 35 as the appropriate football comes into the game, the one in use by Manitoba. 13-3 for the defending champions. First down. Tanguay, Potter, Brooks, and Wyatt across the front, with Carpenter, Terry, Copeland, Sabourin, Sevigny, Slee, St. George, and Armstrong in the backfield for Ottawa. Shiloh just gets back to the line of scrimmage as Tanguay went across the line of scrimmage to meet him. Very little gain, make it 2nd and just a little over 9 as the ball is outside the 35. Kramer. Little checkoff over the middle to Shiloh. And he's out to the 51-yard line before St. George and some of his Ottawa associates can make the stop, but it's a big first down.
Right, and you can see Shiloh just sneaking out of the backfield. Just a perfect call by Kramer. Second down, he was anticipating the big rush, and this is good. Let him block, and then let him go out in the middle.
A 16-yard advance, and there's a timeout on the field with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. The score, Manitoba 13, Ottawa 3.
Okay. I know you can do it. Even with the extra load on your back, let's move out.
The Simca backdoor sedan. Its front-wheel drive means great traction, easy handling. The perfect car to run you to and from work or anywhere else. Pull the back seat down, you've got a wagon to carry most anything. Flip it up, you've got a sedan again. 3- and 5-door models. The Simca 1204. See it at your Chrysler Simca dealers. Simca, built by Chrysler in Europe, backed by Chrysler in Canada.
With less than 3 minutes remaining, Manitoba first and 10 at their own 51. Too Good takes the ball just into Ottawa territory. The advance approximately 5. Vince Brooks, along with Potter, combining to make the stop. So it is 2nd and 5 with the ball just inside Ottawa territory. Manitoba leading 13-3. They're the defending Vanier Cup champions. Lodowicz and Raseiko flank to the right. Raseiko goes counter to the far side. It is Too Good for the first down. An 8-yard advance, taking the ball into the 46 before Potter makes the stop, and he's a pretty healthy looking runner out there, Nobby.
Yes, he is. An excellent run by Too Good, but you know, a coach often thinks, what does a back do when he does not have the ball? And Shiloh kicked the defensive linebacker out to enable Too Good to make the run.
1st and 10 at the Ottawa 46, Manitoba in possession. Shiloh, as he bulled over center to pick up 4 yards, make it 2nd and 6. Too Good, as a matter of fact, was the big man in Manitoba's 1,551-yard rushing total for the season. He amassed 481 yards on 95 carries, a 4.4-yard average, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Shiloh, as he tries over the right side, Roy Moore, was first to make contact. But it is 3rd down and 1. And now will coach Henry Jansen by some mental transmission here to Kramer for a decision here with 3rd and 1.
Well, I'm sure they'll go for it, Fred.
Well, they're ahead 13-3, and with the kind of a rushing game they've got, very strong, effective blocking up front, that would seem to be the call. And it is. Kramer has it. Raseiko to the 31, and they have the first down before Slee forces him out of bounds.
An excellent call by Kramer. There's the fake to Too Good. Now he comes out, he keeps it, and gets a little flip out to Dennis Raseiko. First down. Just a perfect call. Because what's the defense looking for? They're looking for that inside run for that 1 yard.
Less than a minute remaining as the flag is up at the sidelines. 1st and 10 at the 31. Parker is in for Lodowicz. Flank wide to the left. Raseiko comes to this side. Kramer has the football. Long for Parker. Oh, they both hit the goalpost down there, both of those men. The ball and the 2 men arrived at the same time and crashed that post.
Fred, and here we'll see it. There's a good pass, but really watch that Ottawa player.
My.
He really got it. The Manitoba player just got scraped.
Could be Ron Armstrong, number 30. Ron Armstrong, number 30, and he hit that a tremendous wallop, and despite the fact the post is padded, That is a very, very solid.
Fred, I'm just afraid he may have gotten it right in the face.
Well, that's an unfortunate affair indeed. Nobby would almost speak for the gooseneck type goalpost to be installed.
You must have read my mind, because that's exactly what I was thinking of. And getting it off the goal line. But you see, this indicates the type of ball players you have. The concentration on the man and oblivious to whatever's there.
Yes, that's right. In a slow-mo here, Nobby, and I think
just a good throw, and we'll see it right here. Perfectly, right there.
There
it is, right in the face. What I thought. That's what I thought I saw. Hopefully, he won't be too badly injured.
While he is moving, I can see the arm moving there, but not too much, as they have called, I believe, for a, let's see here now. They have the glasses trained on him, and is he going to get up? Yes. He is up and being helped. Well, thank goodness. He's up on his feet, and they're bringing him off. Armstrong from Ottawa, 21 years old, 5'10", 161, and he makes it off under his own steam. A little groggy. A very gritty performance in coming back from that one. And whoops, let's see now. He's just making it there, and helping hands will take him right to the dressing room. So it is second down and 10. Vanier comes in as a defensive half on the right side. Kramer has the football on the counter to the short side. Down to the 17. Claudio Valle and Sabourin making the stop, but the ball now at the 17, first and 10, and the clock showing approximately 13 seconds. So time is a factor here if Kramer wants to capitalize on a scoring opportunity. Manitoba lead 13-3 in the dying seconds of the first half. Kramer has to come up with the big one here to beat the clock and the Ottawa defense. The counter with Lodowicz, and he stopped up. Valle again moving in along with Gilles Sabourin. 2 seconds remaining unofficially, and McKee is into the ball game. McKee was 7 for 12 in field goals for the season. There is Armstrong as he heads for the dressing room. Now the three-point attempt from the 23-yard line by McKee. Kramer to hold. It is blocked partially, and Ottawa have prevented a scoring opportunity by Manitoba on the last play of the first half at Varsity Stadium in Toronto in this College Bowl game. So the score, the Manitoba Bisons 13 and the Ottawa GGs 3. We'll bring you our halftime show after this message.
Step into the brand new world of compacts. Dodge Demon 471, priced way down there, but it's got it all. Torsion bar suspension, unibody construction, smart, roomy, comfortable. New Dodge Demon joins Dodge Dart 471.
The spirit of 71 is Dodge 71.
This year, you can't afford not to be Dodge material.
People who like rugged sports, nature, and the great outdoors enjoy the beauty of the colorful rainbow country. This week, the problems and dangers that arise when a proud old man refuses to acknowledge the gradual loss of his sight on CBC's Adventures in Rainbow Country, Sunday night. Immediately following is the conclusion of The Deluge, an intensely dramatic situation for Cool Hand Kincaid. Childbirth Emergency on The Bill Cosby Show, Sunday night on CBC Television.
This is Tom McKee at halftime back at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. And this is a very happy time, especially for the Canadian Save the Children Fund, because all these universities you see listed here have been participating in a, well, it's not a contest, but it's been sort of a thing that the kids have been working hard for across the country, drop in the bucket, as they have been helping to boost education, not only among their own people, but among the younger and more, that are the people that are less, the kids that are less fortunate as we are. With me is John Gorman, and he has the happy situation this afternoon of presenting some monies collected by the students across Canada in this Drop in the Bucket campaign to Mr. William Archbold, the president of the Canadian Save the Children Fund. John, would you like to do that now?
I certainly would, Tom. Just to introduce what it is, the Drop in the Bucket campaign is a national student movement to raise money to help underprivileged children around the world get an education. It started with the proclamation by the United Nations last year saying this is International Education Year, and the students felt that they would like to raise money for this purpose. Now, across Canada, we have raised this year, as our Drop in the Bucket, $16,565, which I would now like to turn over to the president of the Canadian College Board, the Canadian Save the Children Fund, which will be administered in the field of education around the world. Thank you.
Mr. President, where would funds like these go?
All over the world, Tom. The Canadian Save the Children Fund is very pleased to accept this check from John Gorman and from the thousands of young men and women in the universities across Canada who have worked so hard over the last few months to raise this very substantial sum of money. I think it's important that everyone know that this was conceived, organized, conducted, carried out, and the check today delivered by the youth of Canada, the much maligned youth. The Canadian Save the Children Fund is engaged in welfare all over the world. That welfare program is designed to help people help themselves. Education is a vital part of that help. This check will further the work in educating the children in the underdeveloped countries of the world. Thank you again very much, John, and all of your friends.
And John, continued good success. Thank you very much. This is the Canadian Military College Cadets. These are cadets from the Royal Military College at Kingston and also the college at St. John, Quebec. And they are combining their efforts in this halftime feature this afternoon on the playing field here at Varsity Stadium, a special exhibition of gymnastics. And specifically, we are involved here in the karate demonstration. Karate, of course, is the fastest growing sport in North America and is recognized as the most effective form of unarmed self-defense known to man. Karate literally means empty hands and was devised in India approximately 2,500 years ago by a Buddhist monk.
Toronto, the score, the Manitoba Bisons 13, the Ottawa GGs 3. And we'll continue with our halftime show after this timeout for station identification.
This is the CBC Television Network.
Tomorrow's game have a purpose. They have a number of purposes. The game itself, tonight's dinner, didn't come about, those purposes weren't achieved without a lot of very hard work. Bob Doty and his board of directors have put in hundreds and hundreds of volunteer man-hours to help make this possible. To them, we owe a great debt. This birthday check is one of several birthday checks that we have gotten through the good offices of the Canadian College Bowl, and it's meant a lot. Here's how much it's meant. 6 years ago, when this bowl game started, the Canadian Save the Children Fund, 44 years old, was hardly known in this country. 6 years later, our income, and therefore the work that we can do everywhere in the world, is 2.5 times as great as it was 6 years ago. In no small part, that's due to the publicity and the funds raised through your efforts. Now, I've talked a bit about Bob Doty and his cohorts, but I haven't said anything yet about two groups of people who really are what have made this run. The CIAU and Dr. Maury Van Vliet and all his cohorts have suffered, struggled, worked, and made this thing go. They've converted what was 6 years ago just a dream into a reality. That reality didn't come without hard work and very good cooperation. And all of us who have enjoyed the receiving end of this, thank you and your cohorts immeasurably more.
Pleasure to have with me now two hard-working presidents who are connected with the Canadian College Bowl. On my right, on your left, is the president of the Canadian College Bowl itself, Mr. Bob Doty, and Maury Van Vliet is the president of the CIAU. First of all, Mr. Van Vliet, let us ask you, over these 6 years, how does this College Bowl shape up with the others?
Well, I'm very pleased on several counts. The weather is perfect for one thing, which I think is ideal. I think that the two teams playing here are doing an excellent job. I'm very, very pleased at the caliber of the play, and I think now that we have arrived at the point in Canada with our intercollegiate football where the caliber of our coaching and the caliber of our players suggest that we start talking about a college all-star team against the CFL.
Well, okay, we'll let you do that one. Mr. Van Vliet, what is the situation now that you're going through some changes in the CIAU?
Well, there's some reorganization in what has been known as the old OQAA, that is primarily the Ontario group, and it looks as though we'll go to 4 conferences next year, one in the Far East, in the Maritimes, one in the Far West, one in Quebec, one in Ontario.
And Mr. Doty, this is the first time you've been president of the Canadian College Bowl. It must be a lot of hard work.
It certainly is. It's not just myself, it's the whole team that does the job.
When would you begin work for an event such as this?
Immediately after this game, we start for next year.
So there's not much rest in there.
Not a bit.
What do you think of today's game?
Terrific. It's two good teams.
All right, now you're a resident of the East.
That's right.
What do you think is going to happen in the second half?
I think Ottawa's going to come on a little bit, I hope.
Mr. Van Vliet, I suppose you have to have allegiance to the West to some extent anyway. Because
Well, I have to be very neutral in my position, but I think Manitoba looks quite strong.
Okay, spoken like true politicians almost. The score here is Manitoba 13 and Ottawa 3. And we'll continue with our halftime show after this message.
Canadians are a backward folk. They have not yet learned that love is dead.
And I said, now what do you see? She said, diddly-dum, diddly-dee. You're so old, you're so wise. She said, diddly-dum, diddly-die. Give me a sign, tell it to me. She said, diddly-dum, diddly-dee. Then she spoke most quietly, oh, diddly-dum, diddly-dee.
Only God can make a tree.
You'll never try it in Sudbury.
Love and maple syrup go together like the sticky winds of winter when they meet. When lonely lovers come to rest beneath the trees, they do their best, but still they can't be free.
Love and maple syrup, words and music saluting love in a climate that is peculiarly Canadian. Enjoy this entertainment special, Love and Maple Syrup, Tuesday night on CBC television.
The This is one of those sporting events you're watching now on the field here at Varsity Stadium that looks like a great deal of fun and really is, but also takes a great deal as far as athletic ability is concerned. The trampoline is utilized in both the colleges who are participating here. St. John, southeast of Montreal. A little nervous, that chap. And along, of course, with the college at Kingston, RMC. And these exercises include a series of drops and somersaults and individual routines as well. Oops, that can be dangerous if you get your foot caught that in those springs. And this is the high box. Ooh, boy. I'd like to try that before your grapefruit every morning. This demonstration is set up as almost like a four-ring circus in a way, in the four corners of the football field, and is featuring the karate team, as we saw earlier, the box horse, the trampoline teams, and the RMC box horse and trampoline teams as well, in opposite corners of the field. Finely conditioned and finely tuned athletes. Back to the football game, and let us check those statistics from the first half of play.
Statistically, let's have a look at things. The first downs, Manitoba 14, Ottawa 4. Yards rushing, Manitoba 147 to Ottawa 23. So there's a good deal of defense in there by the Bison defensive unit. Passes attempted and completed, 4 for 8 by Manitoba, 5 for 8 for Ottawa. No interceptions. The yards passing, 41 for Manitoba, and they've stuck mainly on the ground, as we've seen. Ottawa, 81 yards. So the total offense comes out to 188 for Manitoba, Ottawa 104, which is rather in support of the 13-3 advantage that Manitoba enjoys. Manitoba only given up the ball twice by punting, but their average better at 47 yards. Ottawa 34 yards off 4 punts, no fumbles and penalties. Quite a bit in there in yardage, with 59 yards for the total penalties during the first half. Well, Navi Workowski, an interesting affair there, and highlights with Manitoba leading it off right off the bat with a sustained march that brought them 6 points.
Fred, if you looked at the stats, they had 14 first downs. They only gave up the ball twice. With the running attack, the thing that you have ball control. And this is the one thing that Ottawa hasn't been able to get. We can see here, Kramer coming on a rollout to his left. He's running the ball. Lo and behold, he stops, spots low to Winks out in the flat or in the end zone, hits him. Now we come with a bootleg. Now we'll have a look, slow motion.
He certainly attracted Ottawa men.
Like bee to honey, or honey to bee. And there's a lot of Wikes wide open in the end zone. Now the next one we'll see will be the Kramer bootleg. He'll bootleg to Recyco coming to the right. There's a perfect fake, and right is wide open. Fights him off, takes it down the 2-yard line. It's 3rd down and 1 yard to go. And
in the slow-mo here, Navi.
In the slow-mo again, we see the same play. We saw him get jarred, but he's still fighting for yardage. So he takes the ball down to the 2-yard line. This made it 3rd down and 2. They needed a 1 yard for first down. He handed off to Mike Shiloh. Shiloh behind his offensive right guard and right tackle blocking. We can see it again. There's your touchdown. Good play, good handoff, and good fake.
I get the impression, Nobby, that Manitoba haven't shown all the plays in their playbook as yet.
I would hate to defense them. Now here's the fake kick by Padden, and you can see he was rushed. He stood in there very coolly and threw the ball out to Peter Ribbons, number 73. We'll see it again here. And here comes Ribbon out in the flat, deep, gets just a good pass. He catches the ball and is trying to scramble and just nipped right down by his ankle to bring him down. Just a good call, and this is what makes college football exciting. Here's the play, and we can see the collision right there. Just something very, very bad, really, because the pass was good. Armstrong had concentration on the ball. We can just see it right here. Gets hit right by the head. And luckily, no serious damage.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, Armstrong, the Ottawa team, had come out here. I don't know whether they wanted to see part of the halftime show or not, or whether Coach Obilovich had them eager to get out there and see what they can do about the 13-3 deficit. But Armstrong was being walked up and down. Now they have retreated back to the dressing room, but at least he's up and walking around. Nobby, I guess the interesting thing today that the University of Manitoba very proud of their quarterback Kramer, as well they might be of their own team, but Padden was the fellow that took the Heck Crichton Trophy as judged across Canada, and that matchup today is quite a thing.
Yes, it is. Kramer being a very good strategist, excellent play selection, has a great number of ball carriers to give the ball to. Recycle, too good, and Shiloh, he himself can throw the ball to fellows like Robin Wright. He himself can run the ball behind great offensive line blocking. Now, as long as they can retain possession and keep the ball moving the way they have, Padden has to be accurate with his passes. And to this point, he has not been.
Well, we'll just see how things go in this second half. Watch for that matchup between those two quarterbacks. The score, the University of Manitoba 13, the University of Ottawa 3. We'll return with the second half kickoff in just a moment.
Plymouth's gonna get ya moving.
Plymouth comes through for you with 71 Barracuda, lean and tough the way a sports car should be, in coupe, hardtop, and convertible. Torsion bar suspension, it handles. Power up to a 446 pack, it goes. Plum crazy colors. Go Plymouth Barracuda.
Plymouth's gonna get ya. Gotcha.
Be sure to see a continual roar of musketry on The Bold Ones, Monday night on CBC television. Hal Holbrook plays Senator Hayes Stowe, whose investigating commission presents its findings in the mysterious deaths on campus. Watch the conclusion of the drama Monday night, and then stay with CBC for Man at the Center, when the Orford String Quartet plays Beethoven at 10:30, 11 o'clock in Newfoundland.
At Varsity Stadium in Toronto, the Canadian College Bowl Save the Children Fun game with the University of Manitoba 13 and the University of Ottawa 3. This is Fred Scambatti along with Nobby Wierkowski, our spotter Art Darch, and our statistician Ron Andrews. In individual statistics in the first half for Manitoba, Shiloh had 11 carries for 49 yards, Too Good 8 for 47. This is the fellow who was rated as a health risk prior to the game, but he's certainly a very active, energetic player out there. Recycle 7 carries for 33. Slee had 4 for 14. For Ottawa, on the passing side, Shiloh had 1 reception for 16 yards and Wright 2 for 18. Ribbons, a big one for 28 yards, and Levillier, the very large one, a 43-yard pass reception. But Ribbons was part of 2 big plays, that reverse Nobby off the kickoff, where he took that ball deep into Manitoba territory and actually set Ottawa up for their 3 points.
Ribbons can also play a defensive halfback spot. Maybe now that it would appear that Ron Armstrong is going to be out of the ball game, who knows who would replace him? In all probability, they would have to double up with some of the people. Maybe Michel Lavalier would have to go back there. I don't know.
Well, there are other injuries too. Ed Kane, we have a report, will not see action, and Jean Gouin also has been sent to the sideline. So there's 3 of the Ottawa first stringers out of there. So they're going to operate with rather of a shuffled lineup. Take a look at the floats, and then the University of Manitoba as they return to the field. Coach Henry Jansen, along with his assistants Ray Ash, Gordy Rowland, John Shansky, Bob Ovilovich of Ottawa as the GGs come back onto the field. Jimmy Conroy and Jim Kane, the assistants for Bob. So you have a good flavor of the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in opposition with the 2 coaching staffs. A sun-drenched day at Varsity Stadium, a break in the weather for the College Bowl, which it has not enjoyed in previous seasons during the 5 renewals. But it's a sunny day today. We've been very fortunate. The wind swirling out of the west at about 20-25 miles an hour, but the field in good condition, as we've mentioned, and it's far from being over as far as this 13-3 score goes. Now down to the field, and let's get a report from Tom McKee.
Well, the University of Ottawa GGs have certainly been hit by 3 key injuries so far in this game, and it's going to tell in the second half because some of those players are going to have to go both ways. That is the word from Bob Ovilovich, the head coach I was talking to just a moment ago. Ron Armstrong, the young man who ran into the goalpost near the end of that first half, is suffering from a slight concussion. Ed Kane and Jean Gouin both have bad left ankles. And as I said before, Ovilovich says that it's very doubtful if any of those will be back. Certainly, it looks as if Armstrong is gone for the game because they won't take a chance with that suggestion or hint of a slight concussion.
Right, Tom McKee. Plays from scrimmage. Scrimmage plays, Manitoba 37 and Ottawa 17. And that gives you some idea of the very strong defense put up by Manitoba. If you haven't got the football, it's pretty tough to do any scoring. Manitoba leading 13-3 as Ottawa defending the south zone to the right, set to kick off. Cody O'Valley. It is Rosyko and Lodowicz. A very short kick as Shiloh takes it at the 25. Is beyond the 40 to the 45 before Barry St. George pulls him to the turf. So Manitoba will put the ball into play, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. The 40-yard kickoff was returned 20 yards. Well, a report in the game in Hamilton, the CFL Eastern Conference playoff game. The Alouettes won, Hamilton nothing, so they're up by 11 points on the round. Kramer. They give to Shiloh. Fumble! And let's see if Ottawa have recovered. Barry St. George recovers the fumble, and Ottawa get a big break right at center field to start the 3rd quarter.
And we can see here, he got hit. One of the linemen just grabbed his arm and squared the ball loose, and St. George got the ball. There's the handoff. Right there, number 52 or 54, hard to see. 54, I guess, Vince Brooks.
Vince Brooks. 1st and 10, Ottawa at their 54. 20 yards in from the near sideline. Patton. Going long. Incomplete. Jimmy Horn defending on the play.
The University of Ottawa GGs is the latest injury. Looks like he is suffering from a hurt left shoulder. He seems to be in quite a bit of pain.
Fred, and I think they had another injury. Their offensive right guard, I believe, Ottawa, is John Silverman.
2nd and 10 as Jacques Burrell flanks wide to the right. Patton still has the football. Screen to Slee. The short side screen. The advance a little over 3 as Galbraith led the Manitoba defenders, so it'll be 2nd and 7 with the ball at the Manitoba 52. Roseko and Lodowicz will be back. There they are, Roseko to the left and Lodowicz out toward the middle of the field as Patton sets to kick from his 45. Short wobbler. Lodowicz out to the 35, still going. Beyond the 50-yard line. A fine run back before Greg Moses pulls him to the turf.
Right there we can see the catch. A good block by number 19, and he finally found a hole. He had some blockers in front of him. But number 71, Greg Moses, managed to grab him from behind. Otherwise, I think he would have probably been gone for the distance.
Parker made the key block on the 34-yard punt and a 34-yard return. 1st and 10 Manitoba. Shiloh, and he's still going to the 45 of Ottawa. A pickup of 12 and a big first down.
Brendan, this is a counter play. There's a fake to Too Good coming to his right. There's a little fake. The counter back there. Shiloh just picked up. And you can see him running. He's trying to atone for that fumble that he just had a minute ago.
1st and 10 at the Ottawa 45. Roseko on the counter, cracking back from a left flanker position over his own right side for about 4. 2nd and 6, the ball at the 41 of Ottawa. Manitoba leading 13-3. We played just 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Kramer to Shiloh, out of bounds at the 29. Slee, St. George, and Sevigny over combining on the stop. 1st and 10 at the 29 of Ottawa. As Manitoba set up with this excellent run back, are moving the ball in crisp fashion deep into Ottawa territory. On the counter with Psycho to the 10. Touchdown!
Fred, that was a counter. Fred, that was a counter. Fake to Too Good left. He hands off to Recycle coming back to the right. Some good blocks, and Recycle's got that great speed. Gets to the outside and kicks up his heels and runs away from number 21, Gilles Sabron. Just a good call and a good run and some good blocks by the right side of that line. McLeod, Kinley, Fraser.
Kramer will hold as McKee attempts the point after. It is good for his 2nd successful try at a point after out of 3. Making the score Manitoba 20 and the Ottawa GGs 3.
Fred, this is what makes Ottawa's job at defending Manitoba that much more difficult, because Kramer is an excellent quarterback. He can run, he can come on the bootlegs, he can come on a roll, he can drop back, he can throw the ball. And with great ball carriers like the Psycho, Too Good, Shiloh, he just has so many people to pick from that it's very, very difficult for Ottawa to set up a defense. And some good line blocking by that offensive line.
Barry St. George and Michel Levillier are back as McKee sends a good one to Levillier at the 15. He's to the 25. And Out beyond the 30 to the 33 before Ole Hensrud meets him and brings him down. A 57-yard kickoff and a 25-yard return. Hamilton has now gone into a 3-1 lead off a Tommy Joe Coffey field goal in that game at Hamilton. So Hamilton are back in that one. Ottawa 1st and 10.
19.
Slee. Gil Bramwell is there to meet him. Bramwell, 5'10", 190-pounder, and he moves quite well in middle linebacking position.
Fred, Mike Shiloh has a little better than 100 yards total offense. He's carried the ball 13 times for 72 yards and 2 catches for 28.
It is 2nd and 7, Ottawa. Their own 37. Padden. A catch or not? No catch. Signaled by the official in the spot, Ray Morgan. Jacques Burrell was the intended receiver, number 26, but there was a flag on the play.
Padden dropping back behind some pretty good blocking, and Ribbons cleaned out the deep area. Burrell was trying to come back to the inside, but the pass was just slightly underthrown.
A roughing call against Manitoba. A 15-yard penalty assessment by referee Maxwell brings the ball to the 52, 1st and 10 for Ottawa. They trail in the game 20-3 with just over 10 minutes remaining to play in the 3rd quarter. Padden has the football. Long for Leverrier, but he was covered by number 19, Roy Parker, and the pass goes incomplete.
Fred, the thing I haven't commented on is the excellent pursuit given by the University of Manitoba line. They rush the passer extremely well, and on running plays you find 3 or 4 people on the ball. Their deep backs are doing an excellent job of covering, let's say, Lavalier and Burrell and Ribbons.
2nd down. Padden will try the air range again. Complete to Ribbons at the Manitoba 50, but it is 2 yards short of the 1st down. Gil Bramwell leading the defense.
We'll have a look at ISO there. He's trying to be hit, and here comes Ribbon back across the middle. Padden sees him, gives him the ball. There's an excellent tackle. It's brought down, what, 2 yards shy?
3rd down, 3rd and 2 at the Manitoba 50. As Rosico and Lodowicz are back in anticipation of a punt by Padden, but don't count on it. He can pass the ball. Wobbly snap. It's a good kick away. Rosico.
The wall may be set up.
And out to the 37-yard line. And my, oh my, he's a speedy one, Nobby.
Just maybe if he had gone to the outside. Here we can see it. Rosico catches the ball. He's going out to his left. The wall is setting up. He cut back to his inside, but right at that point, if he maybe had gone to the outside, right there. He cut back to the inside, and this may have been his mistake.
Well, that 27-yard return of the 40-yard punt is erased with a 15-yard clipping penalty assessed against Manitoba, taking the ball back to the 10, and they'll put it into play 1st and 10. But Rosico, he just may break loose at any time. It's extremely fast. Shiloh gets beyond the 15 to pick up approximately 7 before Potter and Brooks, the tackles, managed to bring him down. Potter 61 and Brooks 54. Dale Potter forced to go both ways due to the injury to June Guan. 2nd and 3. It is too good, and if he is beyond the 20, they have advanced the ball enough for the first down. Wait till they unpile, and it just may be short. Some very interested spectators happen to be the University of Ottawa defensive unit. At Varsity Stadium in Toronto, there's a timeout on the field with 7.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. The score, Manitoba Bisons 20, the Ottawa GGs 3.
The all-new Dodge Charger sets the style for 71. Choose your power from the economical Slant 6 to the Magnum V8s. Charger is sporty in every way. Now, get all the excitement of 71 Dodge Charger at a family man's price.
The spirit of 71 is Dodge 71.
This year, you can't afford not to be Dodge material.
VON means help for you when you need it. Every day for more than 80 branches across Canada, the VON provides professional nursing care in the home, helping with the new arrival, helping with the elderly, and with the convalescent. When you need professional nursing care in your home, telephone the Victorian Order of Nurses.
Fred Scambatti, Nobby Workowski, and our broadcast crew at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. 3rd and inches as Kramer. Manitoba the ball just inside their 20. Shiloh cracks over the left side. Good enough for the first down to the 21. 1st and 10, Manitoba.
Fred, to illustrate the effectiveness of ball control type football and the defense that they're employing, Ottawa has a total of 5 first downs. They have gotten exactly 2 first downs since the first quarter.
Kramer, Rosejko, out beyond the 25. The advance is about 4.
And this is a new play. They fake a pitch and hand it back to Rosejko on a trap. Unfortunately, he didn't get the blocking that he's been getting on the previous counter plays that he's been running.
2nd and 6 with the ball beyond the 25. Manitoba leading 20-3. 6 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Hello.
Too good. And he carries the ball very close to a first down in the vicinity of the 32.
But it shows you the confidence that he has in his running game. This is Bob Kramer from Manitoba. He has 2nd down and 6, and he runs the fullback up the middle. This shows extreme confidence in his running game and in that line blocking.
Just to review that line from end to end for the Manitoba Bisons, the ends are Robin Wright and Ian McLeod. The tackles are Bart Evans and Alan Kinley. The guards, Ole Hensrud and Jerry Fraser, and the center is Bob Keating.
The big job is done by those 3 inside men, Hensrud, Keating, and Fraser.
It is 3rd and 1. Shiloh carries the football, and we may have another measure. Oh, no. It's good enough, as indicated by referee Maxwell, for the first down. Manitoba start another series from their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Wyatt, Brooks, Potter, and Tanguay are the front 4, backed by Copeland, Wayne Terry, and Carpenter for Ottawa. Rosejko. Dale Potter first to make contact. Rosejko seems to have the ability, Nobby, of quick acceleration.
Yes, and as I said before earlier in the show, that or in a game, that he reminded me very much of Ron Stewart. Ron Stewart is an excellent ball carrier, as you well know, throughout the years.
Moore is in for Copeland on the Ottawa defensive squad. It is 2nd and 1. Shiloh out to the 49 and another first down before Vanier makes the stop. 3rd year with the Bisons for Shiloh, 26 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds. Actually, he was their top receiver with 25 receptions for 307 yards, but he seems to like the going as far as the rushing game is concerned. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Too good. Bottled up and brought down just beyond the 50. With Vince Brooks moving in to make the tackle. Brooks from Sault Ste. Marie. They call him the Tortoise, but he moved very alertly on that one. He's 5'11", 210 pounds. Second and 9. Now will Kramer go to the air? To Shiloh. First down to the 40. And inside the 35. Well, no sooner mentioning that he was a receiver, Nobby, Kramer pulled one right out of the playbook.
Well, he faked the ball at Too Good. And then he came on the rollout. He had a lot of wicks deep. And Shiloh was just on the flat. He hit Shiloh, and Shiloh ran like, let's say, a wild Manitoba bison.
The advance is 26 yards. The ball inside the 35, 1st and 10 for Manitoba. And they're threatening to add to their 20-3 lead. It is Shiloh again. Kramer doesn't hesitate to work him off him.
No, but Dale Potter, he played off Hensrud's block, and he's the one that made the stop.
Well, at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, the Canadian College Bowl game, there's a timeout on the field, and with 2.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, the score, the Manitoba Bisons 20, the Ottawa GGs 3.
In the belief that a pickup should not live by hard work alone, your Dodge and Fargo dealers present the Smooth Riders for 71. Dodge and Fargo sport trucks with cushion beam suspension. Put one in a fun situation and just watch. It'll handle the good times with the same enthusiasm as it tackles the tough jobs. Now, we aren't suggesting one of our Smooth Riders will handle better than a Challenger, but they do handle better than any other pickup on the road or track, and the ride is very smooth. That's cushion beam suspension at work. Why else would we call them the Smooth Riders? Engines up to 383 cubic inches. Automatic 3-speed or 4 on the floor if you choose. On the Adventurer SE, you'll find wood grain trim, padded buckets, and almost any option you'd put on a car. Responsive, agile, comfortable. The Smooth Riders that handle like sports cars are at your Dodge and Fargo dealers. Drive one.
Less than 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Manitoba 2nd and 9 is Kramer with the football. Evades the Ottawa tackling brigade as he steps into touch at the 29. Now let's go down to Tom McKee.
Freddie, this is Ron Armstrong, the player who was injured of the GGs near the end of that first half, and he is in some pain. He has quite a bad headache, and they're trying to keep him as warm as possible. A suspicion there of a slight concussion, trying to keep him as warm as possible, but he doesn't want to go to the dressing room. He wants to watch the remainder of this game, although he hasn't seen too much of it.
From the 36-yard line, McKee will attempt a field goal. Walter McKee. He's got good distance, and it is good. McKee with a good, strong effort that time. Adds another 3 points to the Manitoba total with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Manitoba taking a firm grip on this game, leading 23-3.
And I may give you some stats here. Manitoba has run the ball 43 times, Ottawa 10. In total offensive plays, Manitoba 56, Ottawa 29. It's almost double.
That
Ball control.
Pretty well tells the story. You haven't got the football, there's just no way you can put points on the board. Slee is the ball carrier on the pitch out. A short advance of perhaps 2 yards, 2nd and 8, with the ball at the Ottawa 37. But Ottawa will have to put the ball into the air in order to get some points if they have any hopes of closing the gap. Bunting is in and Moses is out for Ottawa. Looking. In and out of the hands of Jacques Borel, the diminutive flanker, as he was covered by Gil Bramwell in very good fashion.
Fred, not only that, there were about 3 people around him. We can see it here. Here he comes back to the inside. There's the play. 3 people right around him. And anytime you can play defensive football like that, you've got to be successful.
It is 3rd down. Patton is back in punt position. Drives a low spiral, sending Lodowicz back. Gets out beyond the 25. Bill Bunting makes the tackle, and the flag indicating less than 1 minute of time to be used in the 3rd quarter is now up along the sideline. 23-3, Manitoba leading Ottawa. Manitoba set to take over 1st and 10 at their own 27.
But I think not only the defense from that they've had to contend with, the University of Manitoba, but I think the loss of Evans has hurt Ottawa no end.
Subsequent injuries during the game certainly have hampered them. While Kramer, Ottawa have recovered. Number 75, Neil Wyatt, as the Bisons try to get a little fancy with that one.
Fred, and it's a good call. He comes out and he gets the fake. Kramer fakes it to Too Good. There's the fake. He comes out, laterals it at exactly the right time. The only thing, he threw it a little behind recycle. There we can see the ball being loose, finally recovered by Neil Wyatt.
It's a long one. He could reach out. He's 6'3", and a big one, 230 pounds. At the 29 of the Manitoba Bisons, Ottawa in possession, 1st and 10, late in the 3rd quarter. Patton going long for Levier, incomplete, as Clint Evans moved across very smartly to break up the attempt.
Fred, they were trying to split that zone and they had it split. Lavalier was actually behind Evans. The ball was just underthrown. If Patton had gotten that ball a little deeper, it would have been a touchdown. Here we can see Patton dropping back. He throws the ball. I think you'll see right there, he's behind him. But a great defensive play, really, by Evans.
St. George is in for Levier on 2nd down. This might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Intercepted by Jamie Horn. Brings it back to the 25, and Manitoba take over possession. Gene Gauthier making the stop. But Horn in very good position.
Fred, we can see it here. Going to try to force the ball. There it is. Steps right up in front of it. Like a good defensive halfback, watching the ball, staying behind the man, and then tries to get away. Gets a couple of good blocks, and that's it.
Well, we've completed 3 quarters of play in the College Bowl game for the Canadian Save the Children Fund here at Varsity Stadium. On a bright afternoon, the defending champions from the University of Manitoba have a 23-3 lead over the Eastern representatives from the University of Ottawa, who have suffered some rather crippling injuries to both their units during this game. Went into the game undermanned. One of their star players out, gave it a very, very good try early on, but it would appear that this Manitoba just have too much offense, too much defense, too much variety, diversity, Nobby, for this Ottawa team.
Not only that, not only do they have the personnel, but they have excellent coaching. They're well coached offensively, they're well coached defensively.
Valet is in place of Wayne Terry in a linebacking position. Kramer has the football. Looking for Lodowicz. A catch at the 50. Covered off by Levenier, who has been forced to go two ways due to the injury problem attendant with the University of Ottawa GGs.
Brett, not very often do they do this, but they fake the ball to Shiloh on a straight handoff, a play that they've been using quite successfully in the running game. And Kramer just threw the ball beautifully, and Lodowicz made a great reception.
36-yard advance, 1st and 10 at the Ottawa 50. Too good. Slashes over his right side for a gain of approximately 6 inside the 45 before Valet is there to make the stop. Number 63, Jean Gauthier, normally from the offensive unit of Ottawa, is now in playing on the defensive line. Spelling off Dale Potter. It is 2nd and a long 3 at the 44. Kramer has the football. Short pass intended for number 77, Robin Wright, goes incomplete. It is 3rd down, and McKee has come into the ball game again. Manitoba leading 23-3 in the early stages of the 4th quarter. McKee, late in the 3rd quarter, hit for a long field goal.
Brett, I think he'll punt from here. If you remember, in their pregame practice, he was the one who was doing the punting action.
Well, this time no field goal, and McKee will punt. High wobbler. St. George could not get beyond the 15. Bruce Taylor in to make the stop, and Ottawa will take over deep in their own zone after the 34-yard punt and a grudging 5-yard return. 1st and 10 at their own 15.
And I might add, tackled by 5 Bisons.
Well, statistically in the 3rd quarter, the first downs, the total Manitoba 19, Ottawa 5. Total offense of 329 for Manitoba, 121 for Ottawa. That tells you the story. Madden, as he hands to Slee, and the advance is approximately 4 yards, just short of the 20-yard line of Ottawa.
They've got to get the ball up in the air. Maybe they've got to have possession type passes, the shorter variety, 5, 6, 8, 10-yard passes.
Madden will try the air lanes. Incomplete. Intended for Greg Moses. Passing during the quarter, Manitoba 6 for 10. Ottawa 7 for 15 at the end of 3 quarters. 1 interception by Manitoba. Manitoba forced to give up the ball by punting only twice in 3 quarters. They had 1 other punt just to start this 4th quarter. Ottawa 7 times for 36 yards. And another injury, yet another injury.
John Silverman, their right guard.
Silverman. And they're just having a tremendously tough time in what has been a rather rugged ball game.
Looks like again it may be his left ankle.
Now in the game 40 miles down the road, Montreal have scored a touchdown by Denson, and they lead in that game 8-4. And they carried a 10-point lead into the game.
Fred, I think not only is this a good football game, played between two good football teams, but I think the college students that are here are just having a great time.
Well, it is third down. Patton back in punt position. Lodowicz. Flag on the play as Lodowicz is stopped at the Ottawa 52-yard line, but there's a roughing call indicated against Manitoba. Referee Maxwell was back there, and he's in the process of marching off the 15 now out to the 34-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ottawa GGs.
Boys will be boys, won't they, Fred? You know, football is a game of emotion, probably 75% emotion and 25% football ability. And when you get up for a football game, you have to be up emotionally.
It's amazing how it can be generated, this emotion generated so quickly. We had an evidence of that early on in the game. Ottawa 1st and 10. Patton, quick hitch. Jacques Burrell, the diminutive flanker, takes the ball out beyond the 40. Now let's go down to Tom McKee.
Number 55, John Silverman, has certainly been hurt in this second half. He was hurt on the first play off the kickoff to start this 30 minutes of football. He hurt his left shoulder on that occasion. Just nicely got back into the ball game and came up with a bang on his left knee. I don't think he twisted it. Rather, it's just a bruise, but he's likely gone for the remaining 11 minutes of this game.
Tremendous amount of try, no matter what the score is. 2nd and 4. Slee, a very short gain. Number 60, Mark Millen, was first to make contact. The gain is just a little more than a yard as the ball comes out to the 42 of the Ottawa GGs. As they place it, it's closer to the 41, so it'll be 3rd and a long 3.
Fred, this is a tough decision to make, really, because you've got roughly 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go. You're 20 points behind the game. You're still within your own, let's say, 45-yard line. I would think they have to go for it.
It would appear that Manitoba feels that way, too, and Patton's going to support the theories. Well, something certainly went wrong there on the handoff to Slee. Manitoba will take over with a combination of aggressive play that contained the particular proposition and the fumble. So Manitoba 1st and 10.
You can see the scramble for the ball. It's a wild one. Hadn't finally got it, but it doesn't make any difference. Still Manitoba ball.
1st and 10 from the 33. Manitoba in possession. They lead in the game 23-3. Just over 10 minutes remaining at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Bob Kramer directing the Bison offense. Capably so. Raseiko meets stubborn resistance to pick up about 3 yards to the 30 as Gauthier was first to make contact. Number 63, Jean Gauthier from Cornwall. Stocky one at 5'9", 170. He's in third-year arts. 2nd and 7. Raseiko. He's pulled forward almost to the first down.
And not only that, his leg hit back down, his foot rather, and he just kept on driving. He wanted to get that first down.
Lost a shoe along the way, but that certainly didn't stop him.
Fred, they just have a great variety of plays. You just never know how they're going to strike. They sweep right, sweep left, come back with counters, place their backs in different offensive sets. One time you'll see Shiloh be a right halfback, next time it'll be a left halfback. Recycle goes left and right, and Kramer coming out. They have a great diversified attack, really.
3rd and inches for the University of Manitoba. The ball nose to the 23-yard line of Ottawa. Kramer dives through a pile of bodies and should have the first down.
That's exactly the 50th time that they've run the ball in this game. It's quite unusual.
50 plays on the ground. Certainly, Henry Jansen, I don't think that he was being immodest about it at all, but he says his club is quite capable of rolling 400 yards in offense per game, and it looks as though they're on their way to it this afternoon.
If they don't reach it, they're going to be awfully close to it.
Psycho inside the 15, very close to a first down. St. George making the tackle.
Fred, there's one thing you can't teach an offensive back, and that is how to run the football and watch your blocking and cut and get to the outside. And there was a great example of Recycle. He was going to the outside, cut in, and got to the outside again. Once he got to the sideline, he tried to cut it back in again. This is eyesight.
2nd and less than 3. Kramer gives to Toogood. The ball set between the 11 and 12-yard line. If it's inside the 12, it'll be good for a first down, but referee Maxwell wants the sticks. At Varsity Stadium in Toronto, and there's a timeout on the field with 7.5 minutes remaining to play in the 4th quarter. The score, the Manitoba Bisons 23, the Ottawa GGs 3.
Dodge Challenger 471, a sports compact that's styled for performance. Its torsion bar suspension and low wide stance keep it on track beautifully. A whole new way to be free. Get with Dodge Challenger 471.
The spirit of 71 is Dodge 71.
This year, you can't afford not to be Dodge material.
The Sonoran Desert in the southwest United States and Mexico. Hot, dry, and harsh. On Monday evening, CBC Television's The Nature of Things presents the 4th and final episode of its series, The Last Stand. The program will study the battle for survival of the amazing plant and animal life and the influence of the surrounding civilized areas on it. That's this Monday evening on The Nature of Things.
Fred Scambatti along with Nabi Workowski and our CBC telecast crew at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Indeed, it was a first down for the University of Manitoba on the Ottawa 12. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Shiloh, he bulls his way into the 6. So that puts Manitoba over 400 yards in total offense.
We'll have a look here. Here comes Shiloh. Giving a ball. Toogood threw a good block. He spread the end. Notice how he's driving. 210-pound halfback, really, but he runs the ball like a fullback.
6 yards away from a touchdown, 2nd down and 5. Shiloh again. He gets inside the 5 to the 3, and it is 3rd down. The University of Manitoba, in defeating Queens 24-20 to gain the College Bowl final this year, rolled up 398 yards in rushing offense and only 57 yards in passing. The Atlantic Bowl, University of Ottawa used a balance offense to defeat UNB 24-11, and that got them their berth in Toronto today. But in total offense today, Manitoba over the 400-yard mark. And they're 3 yards away from a touchdown, 2 yards away from a first down. Kramer. Touchdown! And that is Ziola. Kim Ziola. Inserted into the ball game. Comes up with a big 6 points.
Very young, happy man. There's the fake. Shiloh, just a good pass. Just beat Sabrin to the outside. That was it. Fred, we can look here. We'll see this fake to Shiloh. There it is. He just drops back. Two good fakes in. He gets the outside position on Sabrin. That's it. Well delivered ball by Kramer.
McKee with the extra point try is good. Quite a thrill for young Kim Ziola. He was with the Regina Rams last year. He's in first-year science at the University of Winnipeg, just 18 years old.
Brett Shiloh's carried the ball 19 times on the ground for 96 yards, recycled 15 times for 98. This gives you an indicator. I don't know what Too Good is carried for, but I believe in last week's game against Queens, I think they had something like three of their ball carriers carried for well over 80 yards each. That's balance.
30-3. Manitoba leading, and it appears as though they are well on their way to a successful defense. We've had the figures on Mr. Toogood. 13 carries, 65 yards. As McKee, a high end-over-end ball to St. George. A reverse with Ribbons again. Flag down on the play back at the 15.
That was a clip. That was a clip. You can see the catch here. He's coming up, giving it off to Ribbons. And right there's a clip that you could see. And you could see the official just bringing out his flag at that time.
Well, the ball goes back. Referee Maxwell indicating the clip back at the 7-yard line. That is where the penalty takes the ball. And a reasonable return off the reverse, and Ribbons' good run is erased. So it's 1st and 10 Ottawa, putting the ball into play at their own 7. 6 minutes unofficially remaining to play in the 6th renewal of the College Bowl game at Toronto. Slee trying to get outside. Clint Evans showing good lateral movement, moved over and contained the play.
Manitoba's defense is really set up for the outside run. They have people on the outside, and they're trying to contain everything on the inside and make them run up to their strength. And their strength, the Manitoba strength, is really in the middle with those 4 defensive linemen, Gail Braith, Gibson, Carlson, Millen, and a great linebacker, Gil Bramwell, number 31, is doing a great job.
At the 10, 2nd down Ottawa. Slee on the draw, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Manitoba now is changing their defense a little. Bramwell that time, their middle linebacker, had been up, let's say, approximately a yard off his defensive tackles, is now dropped back to 5 yards. I think the next time Ottawa gets the ball, we'll see Manitoba pretty well content to go into what is normally called a prevent defense and give Ottawa the short gainer.
Furlan and Lodowicz are the punt return pair, as Coach Henry Jansen now substitutes liberally, with the game apparently well in hand on a 30-3 margin. Patton back in the end zone. And he's going to give up 2 points.
2 more points on the board at this time won't make a great amount of difference. The thing is now that they can get the ball out and they can move it. It's within the last 3 minutes, if he did that they would have to kick off.
4:53, the unofficial time remaining. Manitoba 32 and Ottawa 3. They pick up 2 points off that one on the safety touch, but Ottawa retained possession of the football. 1st and 10 at their own 25.
Great catch. He's gone.
At the 10. And a touchdown. Great reception.
Just a beautiful catch by Vanier. Right on his fingertips. Couldn't have been done by anybody else any better.
85 yards by the speedy fourth-year phys ed man from
You
Hawkesbury.
see it here, a great throw. There it is, right there. He's not to be denied.
That's a little more what we expected out of Ottawa today, and it's taken them a while to get it into shape.
You can see it here again. Sets back, throws the ball. You see him split the defenders. Right there, split the two men. Caught the ball right on his fingertips. Two men tried to tackle him. He's gone.
They're going to try for 2 points here. Patton intended for Moses. A flag on the play. The illegal interference call. So the 2 points will be added to the total. So Ottawa with an electrifying play here. And that seems to have given them a little surge and a boost here late in the game after they must have sagged considerably under the weight of the Manitoba attack and their rather crushing defense.
Fred, it still could be interesting, but remember, Manitoba's style of offensive football is ball control. They're going to have to take the ball away early enough so they can possibly score. So that Ottawa can possibly score.
32-11, as far as we can reckon, is the score. It's not the score on the board. It's 32-9 the way they have it. There's a short kickoff by Valley. It's an Ottawa man going out. Now let us see. Ottawa. No, they do not take the ball. Bramwell touching it last for Manitoba, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 50. Let's go down to Tom McKee.
You know, the University of Ottawa GGs have had a lot of injuries this afternoon. Armstrong, Kane, Guaya, Silverman. But don't forget another fellow that didn't play at all, Ted Evanetz. And they've missed him sorrowfully, out with that torn Achilles tendon.
1st and 10, Manitoba at their own 50. Bob Johnson, number 79. Slee and Lavalle making the stop. The gain is approximately 9, 2nd and 1 outside the Ottawa 51-yard line.
Friend, it just shows you what type of depth they have, because Johnson came out and he did a great job of running the ball.
Shiloh twisting and turning to the 45, but there's a flag on the play. Face mask.
Fred, we'll see if we can pick up the face mask here. There it is.
Referee Maxwell spelling out the options to Kramer of taking the advance on the face guard or taking the penalty. And if you took the penalty, it will be much more than the advance. There should be very little discussion about that one. Take the 15-yard penalty.
Well, there are some changes. Lou Furlan, number 27, has come in to replace Dennis Recyco. Number 79, Bob Johnson, came in to replace, I believe it's Bob Tuga. So the only one that's still in there is Shiloh.
1st and 10 at the Ottawa 36. Manitoba in possession, and they lead in the ball game 32-11. Shiloh bumps off one man and runs into number 75, Neil Wyatt. Not before he's brought the ball forward 3 yards, make it 2nd and 7. Ball inside the Ottawa 34. A little over 3 minutes remaining in the 6th annual College Bowl game from Varsity Stadium in Toronto. CBC and our sponsors happy to bring it your way in support of the Canadian Save the Children Fund.
Shiloh now has 101 yards.
Come on!
Furlan, he's speedy. There was a flag down as he gets inside the 15. Could have an illegal procedure play here as the ball comes back and the penalty against the University of Manitoba. At Varsity Stadium in Toronto, there's a timeout on the field with 2.5 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. The score, the Manitoba Bisons 32, the Ottawa GGs 11.
Chrysler, the luxury car for all the living you do.
Chrysler for 1971 gives you what you buy a luxury car for: room, quality, performance, and prestige. Passenger accommodation is more than generous, and Chrysler's extra care and engineering gives you a torsion quiet ride, smooth and silent, because you're isolated from road noise and vibration. Every Chrysler is a full-size luxury car. There are no junior editions. Chrysler, you'll be proud to own one.
Chrysler, the luxury car for all the living you do. There's a Chrysler for you.
It is 2nd and 13 from the Ottawa 39 for Manitoba following the illegal procedure penalty. Kramer, flag again. Rosejko, he's in a little bit of trouble. Pass to Kramer. There has been a flag down as Kramer gets to the 30.
I think again it's illegal procedure. I think the man, the flanker on the left side, he's infringing on the 1 yard area.
That is the correct call, Nobby. Manitoba have picked up 75 yards in penalties prior to the assessment of this one, as referee Maxwell will make the indication. There it is.
The
and
flanker,
the ball
when
comes
he
back another 5.
Fred, the flanker, when he comes out to set outside the offensive ends, he has to be clearly 1 yard in back of the end man on the line of scrimmage. And what he's doing, he's coming slightly in motion and not giving that 1 yard.
He
So
takes up a nothing position.
That's
There's really
right,
no definition.
really.
He's not on the line. He's not in the backfield.
As an old college referee, you should know, shouldn't you?
It is still 2nd down, but the ball back at the 44. Kramer, the draw. A little bit of feeling along the line there between 57 Fraser and 53 Claudio Valli as they exchange greetings. But it is 3rd down at the 45. Manitoba preparing to punt. Leveille drops back along with St. George.
Fred, there's another way of saying it. East meets west.
McKee is back in punt position in his own zone on the center field stripe, just inside it. Rather short. Leveille at the 5. A lot of traffic in there. Gets back to the 7. Bob Johnson, one of the principal tacklers, along with Bruce Taylor. A 40-yard punt, a 2-yard return in the waning stages of this College Bowl game as the shadows lengthen. And seeing the shadows indicates that we've had a reasonably good day in a weather sense, because it indicates that sunshine has been with us, and it still is. It's been a very pleasant day for a football game.
Fred, I thought when you and I walked the field before the game this morning that it may have been a little slippery, but the field is held up just beautiful.
Time is in. 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining unofficially. Manitoba 32, Ottawa 11. The Bisons en route to a successful defense of the National Collegiate Championship. Patton swings a pass. Fumble. Have we got a touchdown with number 58, or was it in the field of play? Jack Galbraith, very alert.
Fred, that's what you call a discretion call. Did he have the ball long enough? We'll see here. You be the judge. Padden throws the ball, caught the ball, just got hit. There's the fumble and a recovery. That's discretion.
They say the picture tells the story, Nobby. However, it is first down for Manitoba at the Ottawa 1.
I would have to think that they'll give it to Mike Shiloh.
That's a do-it-yourself project, Nobby, with Kramer.
Well, listen, Kramer deserves it. There's no doubt. He's called an excellent ball game. He's done everything that a good quarterback should do, and that's exactly what he did.
38-11, the score now. And Kramer certainly capping an excellent performance. And as we mentioned at the outset of the game, Nobby, the matchup between Kramer, who is so very highly regarded by his teammates and the coaching staff of the University of Manitoba, as he was opposed by Paul Padden, well revered by the University of Ottawa coaching staff and his teammates, and he was the winner of the Heck Crichton Memorial Trophy as the best player in the land. They're going to go for two of them. Ferlin. He won't make it. Credit number 61, Dale Potter, at the tackle, preventing the two-point conversion. So Manitoba with 38 and Ottawa 11, a minute and 25 seconds remaining in the game. Previous winners in 1965, invitational setup for the College Bowl. Varsity defeated the University of Alberta 14-7. Again on an invitational basis the next year, St. Francis Xavier 40. Waterloo Lutheran 14, and then in the first Canadian Championship under the new setup, the University of Alberta defeated McMaster 10-9. In 1968, Queens over Waterloo Lutheran 42-14, and last year, the University of Manitoba defeated McGill 24-15.
Hold it.
The fans have come down out of the stands on the far side as McKee sets to kick up, the ball being held. Levelier at the 10. He's to the 25. Just short of the 35 with Gil Bramwell and Ole Hensrud combining to make the tackle. Now the yardsticks have come to this side. There's a little less congestion with the fans pouring out of the east side stands, the sun side at Varsity Stadium. They're over here where the teams have their benches, and there's just a little less confusion.
Fred, I think we'd have to say that Ottawa had a very sad disappointment coming into the game when they lost their #1 offensive back, Evanets. And then in this game, they've had quite a few crippling injuries. Take these people out. I think that they have played excellent football under those conditions.
Oh, very gritty display. Padden again trying the long one. Or Burrell up the sideline. Caught by a teammate, but out of bounds. So it'll come back to the 33 as 2nd and 10 for Ottawa. No, they certainly haven't given up, and it must have put quite an impost on the coaching staff trying to shuffle men in and out, making the replacements. Coach Bob Ovilovich and his staff. The GGs have not given up at any time, and that was evidenced by that long and exciting pass play from Padden to Levely just a short time ago. Less than a minute remaining in the 1970 College Bowl game at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. Twin flankers left. Padden out into the left flat for Levelier, covered off as number 16 Clint Evans was over there like a shadow. Sampson along with Jim Fildy also covering off in the play. So they have quite a regard for Levelier, who has played quite a ball game going both ways at times.
Well, Michel has great speed, and from the catch that he made for their touchdown, we saw that he had also a great pair of hands, so I think they would have to respect him. Mind you, he's just coming off, and I think on that last catch that he tried to make, something happened to his left arm or left shoulder.
Unofficially 29 seconds remaining. Padden. Almost picked off by number 17, Dean Sampson, who's a little distressed at not making the interception. So it is 3rd down and 10 at the Ottawa 33. Well, let's turn that one right around. They lose the ball there on the exchange. Manitoba will take over. And in command of the game, and it looks as though they're going to keep the football to end it too, Nobby.
I think they may just be trying to go for a score, too.
Less than 10 seconds remaining. And Kramer, who's had a splendid afternoon, comes up onto the center. The fans breaking loose as Kramer throwing line. The fans have come on the field and just certainly putting a disappointing end to this ball game.
Fred and I was right, because I thought they took a little too long in the huddle, and we can see here. And he thinks that he's going to catch the ball, and then he starts running into people. And this is the only unfortunate incident in the entire game. These students have had a great time, and it just proves that Canadian youth can go out to football games, can go in a sport, and have a good lot of wholesome fun.
Well, yes, they've been very orderly up to this time, Nobby, and it is a little bit of a disappointment that on the final play of the game, and as you correctly called it there, the Bisons wanted to add to their total.
Yes, they did. 38 to 11.
38 to 11. That they were going for more. But they're the successful defending champions. The Manitoba Bisons over the Ottawa GGs at Varsity Stadium in quite a good ball game, but injury certainly crippled Ottawa. They even before the ball game started, as we've noted. And here, an impressive ceremony through the crowd. The players wending a line in opposite directions, congratulating each other. And that, Nobby, is certainly a fitting conclusion, a very sportsmanlike conclusion to this ball game, where the University of Manitoba have successfully defended their championship.
This is Canada, East meeting West, and now they're showing each other that they are Canadian, and it's not East, it's not West, it's not a division.
I am wondering, I do not have a vote in this, Nobby, but I am wondering who will be the recipient of the Ted Morris Trophy as the most valuable player in this game.
I would hate like heck to have to make that decision, because I could see right now going to Bob Kramer. He's the most obvious quarterback. Mike Shiloh.
And so many good men.
Dennis Recycle. Gil Bramwell on defense, because these people are overlooked. They have so many. You could go offensively in their line. You could say Jerry Fraser deserves it because of the excellent job he did on blocking from the offensive right guard. Alan Kinley. Ian McLeod, who caught no balls but blocked well. Robin Wright, who caught a few. You have Bob Toogood. You have Henry Lodowicz. You know, just to name a few. Now, who would you take?
It more and more, Nobby, comes up team in the 38 to 11 score that Manitoba has posted as a winning margin today. And as you look at it, and that must stem from the coaching staff right down, that they seem to be very, very well prepared. And they took advantage of their opportunity. Here in total offense, Manitoba with 422 yards, of which 297 was rushing. Ottawa, now 211 yards against a very stubborn defense. There were 36 yards rushing, and they figured to be a passing club, 184 yards.
But then you look at this, it's even more significant when you look that Manitoba had eight penalties for a loss of 80 yards.
All in all, quite a day as the University of Manitoba prevail over Ottawa 38 to 11. And now downstairs, let us join Tom McKee.
Thank you, Fred. And you and Nobby were wondering who the outstanding player of the game was going to be. Well, we have him with us now, number 20 for the Manitoba Bisons, Mike Shiloh. And Mike, congratulations, first of all, on the award. You played a hard game, and it was a hard game to play, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty tough out there. They were hitting pretty good, but I think we just overpowered them a little bit.
Did things go exactly according to your game plan?
Pretty much as we had hoped it would. We stuck basically to a running attack, and we were sort of prepared for their passing offense.
What was the field like?
It was pretty good. I thought it'd be pretty slippery, but the footing was surprisingly good.
And how about that wind? Did it bother your people?
Well, seeing that we stuck mainly to the ground, it didn't really affect us that much. I think it probably affected them a little bit more. But, well, kind of happy about the outcome.
Well, I'm sure you must be. Congratulations to you again.
Thank
Freddie?
you
It was snow, man.
Final.
I didn't want to. That's it. Don't take.
Well, back up here on top, and Nobby, the determination of the most valuable player, Mike Shiloh, and you really couldn't argue with him.
No, I couldn't. You know, and as you and I discussed just prior to the end of the game, who would you pick? Kramer, Shiloh, Recycle? I could name so many, even some of their defensive stars, but certainly Mike Shiloh deserves it because I think he ran well over 100 yards. He caught the ball for 40. Not only that, what did he do without the ball? Anytime the Recycle was running, he was blocking. 2 good ransom plays. He got the blocks. What more do you want?
Yeah, I'm afraid the romantic types would have liked Kramer to win it, and then that would have offset the award to Patton because they felt rather strongly. They were, in a sense, subdued in their comment last night at the dinner held in the city of Toronto here for the competing teams, but you had a feeling in talking to the University of Manitoba people that they might have been quite distressed at their man not receiving that Heck Crichton Award.
And if he had won it, then the Ottawa Boosters would have been quite disappointed because really Kramer deserved it, but so did Patton.
Well,
one of them had to lose.
Well, that's right. Patton played to capabilities. I was quite impressed with him today, but I think that you have to look to the other side of it, Nobby, with that Manitoba defense. They harassed him all day. They had the pressure going up front with the support from the deep side, which makes it tremendously difficult for a quarterback to mount any type of consistent aerial attack.
Not only that, the Manitoba defense didn't have to be out there that long because of that ball control on offense.
That's right. Well, let's go down below again and join Tom McKee.
Well, this is what it was all about. This is the Vanier Cup emblematic of Canadian college football supremacy. And we have the co-captains of the Bisons here at this time, number 10, Bob Kramer, and number 11, Jamie Horn, along with the president of the CIAU, Maury Van Vliet, and the president of the bowl game itself, Bob Doty. Mr. Van Vliet, would you like to make the presentation?
I certainly would. I'm very proud, of course, that this is a Western club because that's the direction I come from. I've seen these boys perform a good many times in Edmonton, and I tell you, they're a great ball club. They've got beautiful balance, and they showed it today, and I'd like to congratulate the co-captains on a wonderful victory.
Bob, you're going out in grand style.
Yeah, 2 in a row is hard to believe. Of course, we were very confident. Beginning of the year, this was our goal, 2 in a row, but we came through with it, and I'd like to thank Dr. Van Vliet for presenting us with this trophy.
Jamie, what was it like on defense?
It was a team. That's all I can say. We played as a team. We got hurt with a couple of passes early, but we pulled together in the second half and came through.
And a final word from you, Bob.
Terrific game, and congratulations to both fellas. Great.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Well, Manitoba led 13-3 at halftime, and the final margin, they were very strong in the second half. And Nobby, final comment from you about this 1970 renewal of the College Bowl game.
I think that it was a great game played by 2 great teams. The West, Manitoba, was just a little better on the day. I think it was played by Canadian youth for another very worthy cause, the Canadian children.
To save the children fun. And Nobby, we could be looking forward to a new era of success for the Canadian Intercollegiate Union.
I think that the things that happened yesterday and the realignment in the East and the Central divisions and all that can do nothing but elevate college football to where it should be, because I think it's a great game. I think it has a lot to offer, and I think the more the universities sell it, the more people are going to come out and watch it.
Good, Nobby Workowski. The final score, the University of Manitoba 38, the University of Ottawa 11. Now, on behalf of our sponsors and the CBC Television Network, this is Fred Scambatti for our crew, bidding you all a very pleasant good afternoon.
This is the CBC Television Network.
Viva, first of a new value line featuring exciting watches for exciting women. A rare combination of breathtaking design and exquisite timing, priced as low as $69.50. The Wittnauer value line is cause for celebration with styles like Charmant, a jeweled charm watch on an exquisite bracelet. Viva and Charmant. Wittnauer's value line is low as $69.50. See your Longines Wittnauer jeweler today.
Polaris. We put it together to take competition apart. West Yellowstone, Ironwood, Lake Tahoe, Rhinelander, Syracuse, Winnipeg to St. Paul. But our drivers don't race just for the glory. They race to help us learn. So we can build you a machine that's dependable and first on the Freedom Trail.
We now join the program Saturday's Heroes, already in progress. The score is Ontario 6, Rexdale 3. Now here are the commentators, Tom McKee and John Ferguson.
There's Billy. Here's the long pass up to Billy Cornish. Billy's been outstanding all this tournament for Rexdale. Here he is scoring past Bob Clefley. And the man back too late was Tony Nightingale. We're now 6-4, Brampton, 5:05 left in the third period.
Don't forget now that in the event of overtime or a tie, we do go into overtime after a brief rest, 10 minutes of stop time. Then there is a 10-minute break if it is still tied, and the teams come back on the floor and play sudden death.
Now these Rexdale fans are sure full of voice now.
Tim Peters for Brampton in front to Nightingale, and he hit the crossbar and the post at the same time. This is Scott McClellan coming back for Rexdale. He loses the ball and it's picked up by Cornish. Cornish shoots. Oh! And this one off the arm of Cleveland and through the corner.
You can't move that Bob Clefley out of that net. He stands his ground.
They fight for it. Little Nightingale and losing to the other 14, Phil Bigwood. Centering pass finally goes back to Bradford in the Rexdale goal. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this game. A very important one. Cornish unable to pick up the first pass. Goes in with Fernand on the corner. Scott McClellan. Now it's ruled Brampton ball. Ontario Brampton in possession. They have a 2-goal lead. There are 4 minutes remaining.
Paul Cook in possession of the ball.
Brampton just taking their time. Mike Fernand right in close. Back here to Peters. Shot is wide. The rebound taken by Mike Gillis. Mike Gillis, long pass just off the mark. Bounces off the screen. They pick it up. And Rexdale gets caught on the change as they change on the go, and there was nobody in front to take that ball. Bigwood couldn't handle it. They fight for it along the boards. Oh, knocked away nicely.
That was a fine check by Peters. Rexdale player was right in, and Peters got his wrap around right around him and took the ball off. And Rexdale called for another penalty here.
We have 3 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. And with every play now, this full house here at the Pine Point Arena in Rexdale are standing. Their team trails by 2 goals.
Every time they have a penalty, Rexdale, Brampton get their power play out there, and they throw that ball around well. 12 years old and under. They got 5 hot shots out there. And the ball goes to Rexdale. The illegal face-off by Brampton.
Steve Hunt back to Savekis. Savekis out there along with Mollison. Number 15, Kukiwa, goes to Brampton. They pick off the ball. To Paul Cook. Paul Cook tries the centering pass to Nightingale, and it would bounce to the corner. Steve Hunt tries to pick it up. He can't get to it. Tufts misses it. Fernand He's bumped out of the play, and here goes Tukiwa. Tukiwa for Rexdale. He's going in. He shoots wide. And there's nobody there to pick up the rebound. Finally, it comes back to Savekis to Morrison. Morrison trying to pull his way through. Gets through so far. Bounces one over the goal. Now we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. On the far side, it's Brampton. Lockers waiting in front for a pass that never came, and Morrison turns for Rexdale with a lead pass to Tequila. Tequila shoots, and that goes off the arm of Cleveland.
Well, Tawaka got behind Jamie Tufts there, and Bob Clefley was the man again who stopped him. He's been outstanding.
Long pass and a nice catch by Lockers. Lockers throws it in front in the slot area. Cook turns to Nightingale. Nightingale trying to move in front. It's pulled out of the way. Back to Lockers. He shoots. He scores!
Jimmy Lockers bounces it off the floor. Here it is. Nightingale working for the ball. It stopped here momentarily. Here's back. He gets it over to number 11, Jimmy Lockhurst. And Jimmy fires it off the floor and up into the top corner. Here it is on a left-handed overhand shot. And up the floor into the corner. Giving Steve Bradford no chance. They lead 7-4. 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the third period.
And now Rexdale really do have their backs to the wall with just 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining as they continue play. But of course, anything can happen in this game of lacrosse. There's the shot that never got away by Sabadas. He's in behind the goal, moving out in front. He takes the shot. That's stopped by Cleveland. Sabadas looking for the ball. Can't find it in that maze. Nobody finds it for a minute. Finally, it's bounced out to center. Paul Clark moving for Rexdale. Out there with Kent Moffat over on the left side. Intercepted by Paul Cook for Brampton.
Well, Paul Cook is certainly, he's the floor general out there for Brampton. Here he is again with a ball. He's having a look around. In Pee Wee lacrosse, they got 10 seconds to move the ball over the center floor.
Hernan to Peters. Peters hurt on that play.
Here's a high stick now. There's a penalty going to Rexdale for a high stick. Accidental, of course, but number 5, Paul Clark, is on the penalty box. Ed O'Connor's out. Here it is in slow motion. Number 9 with the ball, and Patty Clark gets some here, and he goes down. And we'll wait to see how the boy is when he gets up. But he was definitely clipped by that stick. That's a bad break for Rexdale with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go, and having a man in the penalty shot in the penalty box with a 3-goal deficit. There's a referee there, Hal Walsh from Peterborough. He's up. Now they go back to the bench. The coach, Ed O'Connor's out with him, and he's got a mouse under his eye. There it is. And he will have a shiner in the morning.
Seconds are ticking by. Well, this less than a minute to play now. Now we have another penalty as the frustration of not being able to catch this Brampton club seemed to catch up with the Rexdale boys.
Well, there goes number 9, Scott McClellan. So they're 2 men short late in this third period. And they have their power play out, Brampton. Cook, Lockhurst, Nightingale, Tufts, and number 7, Mike Fernand.
I think you'll see they're quite happy enough just to throw the ball around and play a little catch here for the remaining 40 seconds of this game.
Well, they're running the clock out here, and they got 5 against 3, and they're not going to give up possession of this ball. They want this win badly. They could possibly reach the final with this win. Tony Nightingale ragging the ball over the Tufts. Here's the
Rexdale's Tinker Huntley. Being pushed out of the play. Now Brampton come back, but they'll just lag it here. There's a hard shot. Good save by Bradford. 4 seconds, 3-2. All over.
There's a happy bunch of Brampton boys, the coach, the trainer, and they could conceivably end up in the final.
So there's your final score. Ontario Brampton 7 and Rexdale 4. Saturday's heroes will return after these messages.
Kids, no two are alike, let alone the same size. That's what makes buying their clothes so tough. Fact is, sizes tend to vary as much as the kids. That's why the Canada Department of Consumer and Corporate Affairs provided the Canada Standard sizes, sizes made to fit your child according to his build. Take a few measurements and ask your retailer for your child's Canada Standard size. It'll have this label, CSS. If it's not there, ask for it, CSS, the label that guarantees standard sizes.
This is a lovely time of the year, isn't it? It's a time for family gatherings, for holiday joy, and most of all, for peace on earth and goodwill to all men. Or is it? When you look out the window these days, you can see the pollution growing in the air we all breathe. In our communities, we find many who do not enjoy the simple blessing of good health. Now, we must do something about this, not just during the holiday season, but 365 days of the year. And a very good way is to use lots of Christmas seals on your holiday gifts and mail, and to answer your Christmas seal letter with an open heart. Every Christmas seal is a powerful weapon against emphysema, the man-made disease of cigarettes and smog, against tuberculosis, still a serious problem in our ghetto areas, and against the careless pollution of our atmosphere. Most of all, Christmas seals are a way to show you really mean peace on earth, goodwill to all men. For Christmas seals are a matter of life and breath.
Well, you've just been witness to more top-notch lacrosse action. And John Ferguson, I'm going to put you on the spot right now and ask you point blank, did you think that Brampton stood a chance to beat Rexdale?
Well, I have to be honest, Tom, and I said earlier in this tournament the way Rexdale were playing that they would have to rate as maybe my choice to win the tournament. But Brampton have to be given full marks coming right into the home team's arena and winning 7-4. In an earlier tournament, earlier in the year, Rexdale turned the tables on Brampton and Peterborough, Ontario. So today it was Brampton's turn, and they showed they could be the championship team going down to the final.
Do you think that first goal scored by Brampton was, that had a lot to do with the game, don't you feel?
It certainly did. They were in complete control, and they got excellent goaltender from Bob Clefley, and to my mind, he was the man that was the key tonight.
Well, that's just some of the fine action you'll see on this Saturday's Hero Series, and we'll be back again, John and myself, and the rest of our broadcast crew in 7 days' time, and we'd like to see you then.
This has been Saturday's Heroes with Ontario playing Rexdale. Watch next week when our Pee Wee Championship Lacrosse Series game will be New Westminster versus Rexdale.